Red Zone in the lab. Commanders. It's time. Let's get it, homie. Yes, sir. We are back. Red Zone Inthelab podcast. I am Deuce, and this is day 2 of our Commanders briefings, our hell briefings, whatever it is you want to call it. But I searched around all of our whole Commanders content community. Got over 30 plus of your favorite podcasters out there, man. Content creators over the next 7 to 8 days, man. 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is it takes to get done. And the day off the top of the hour, my man, Josh. Josh, what is going on? How you feeling, homie?
What's going on, Deuce? It's been too long, my guy. Appreciate you for sending the invite over and having me on, man. Love what you're doing. I saw the one from yesterday, so looking forward to what this week has packed.
Man, it's been insane, right? And what we kind of look at as a dead period when it comes to actual our team content, well, we had a whole lot of content, right? Like we had a whole lot of stuff to talk about. We had a whole lot of stuff to talk about. But before we get into the IU thing, right? Because I want to touch on that really quick, right? I want to ask you something because I saw that you're doing NCAA videos for the video game, but I do have a question. What are these top players opting out of? Because I see that on the timeline, and I've seen some of the cover athletes do it today. What is that actually all about? Before we get into Commanders,
well, that was actually fake. The Dante Moore thing, yeah, it was fake. So there's like this big commotion, and shout out to Bordeaux. He's like one of the biggest content creators for the game, and I watch him all the time. He's like one of my favorites. But they found out that they kind of took like the 2K route and added these like micro transactions where you can like pay to like upgrade your player or pay to like level up your coach to like level 100 and stuff. And everyone hates it because it's kind of like taking away like the fun of the game, but also it's like making it like unfair. Like I could pay $100 and just be like max leveled up. So I mean, there's a lot of people that are like boycotting it and stuff, which is kind of crazy because it dropped today. And if you just look at like EA Sports' like tweets, they're getting ratioed like crazy. So no, it's getting a lot of blowback. But honestly, I love the game. But yeah, what they did was pretty stupid, to be honest with you.
All right, let's get into some Commanders code. All right, so I've been kind of like riding the troll wave when it came to Brandon Ayuk because I thought it was just funny, like trolling with the Niner team. But I do understand the dynamics of our wide receiver room, right? And I do understand that the thought process that, man, if we can get 2023 Ayuk for nothing, for free, right? Yeah. That'll be absolutely what we need. And then when it comes to Jayden being best friend, they called him his brother, all of those things, right? Where are you now after everything that we've seen, every from June 1 until now? Where are you now with Brandon Ayuk?
I mean, to be honest, like I was all in on the whole Ayuk thing. I know everyone's going to be like, oh, like there's a lot of people like off the train or like, backstepping or whatever, but like he shot himself in the foot. Like Brandon Ayuk literally had a red carpet to Ashburn.
Yeah.
And he decided to mess it up. So it's just like, yes, I would love his talent, but now we're kind of seeing the stuff that's coming with it. But it's also like we know he's not going to do the things that he has to even make it possible. So, like I'm off. I'm off of the whole Ayuk thing and then what he did this past weekend. Like it's so funny to me. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's fake beef." Like Jayden and him are doing this for like publicity and stuff. That it what like first off, it's not fake. It is 100% real, and it's. Like Ayuk just coming off the rails and like Jayden's kind of like staying out of it. But, at the same time, he's just going to be like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, chill. So, yes, I would love to have his talent, but I'm 100% off of it. Keith Sweat.
Keith Sweat is crazy. But see, but that's the thing though, right? Like too many people can't get him to respond to something like that on social media, right? Like we have our friends who know how to push a button to make us do things that's kind of out of character when we don't usually do. So they are really tight, right? Yeah. When they call themselves brothers, that's how they really feel. And we know how that situation can play out, right? Like, but what we understand, we talked about all day yesterday, that there are lines that you don't cross, right? There are your mama jokes that you don't cross. There are certain things that you just don't cross. Like you don't come to my job, right, and throw a water balloon at me while I'm at work. Like those are the things that we do. There are lines, and he may have stepped it. Like I personally don't know, right, because they are who they are, right? They are, we don't know what their line is, but either way, right? Adam Peters, in a sense, it's like if he does do everything that he needs to do, gets released, right? Whatever happens with Ayuk and the Commanders is going to be with Jayden's approval.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, obviously, like you said, we don't know what their friendship is, but there's the whole, like, he's still in the 49ers. You can't drag Jayden into this and make him look bad. It's not like not like he's a free agent. Like, hey, Jayden, like tell AP to come sign me, whatever. Like, it'd be all fun. Like, then we'd have fun with it.
Right.
But that's not what it is at all. Like, he is still on the 49ers, and it's funny to me that he moved out here to Virginia. Jayden hasn't been out here since he's been here. Jayden has been in the West Coast. Literally, they just swapped spots. I'm like, first off, Ayuk, why did you move out here if you're going to act like this, but then also you're not going to do the things that you're supposed to do? Yeah. So it's been confusing, man. But at the end of the day, I know Jayden is going to just stay out of it. As he should. Like at some point, you got to sit down because, like you said, we don't know the relationship, but we know they're close. Right. If your boy's acting up, you're like, bro, come on now.
Right.
Like that one friend that acts up a little too much.
It's always the one your mother don't like, and that might be.
And we know who it is now. It's Ayuk. Can't that might be anywhere.
Sure. Right. But yeah, man, like, and we know what happened in Jayden's rookie year, right? I mean, he was on the 49ers then, right? And we remember that infamous, like, they go quarterback right there. And the cameras go to Jayden, like, come on, bro. Like, even
Jayden's in the background, like, huh?
Right. And that's the same thing as this. Like, that's similar to the Kevin Durant thing. All right, so let's go away from that. I spent a lot of times talking about the wide receiver room, right? I mean, the timeline, everyone is talking about the wide receiver room because I look at it as Terry and them, right? Because everyone else it's a what if, right? And I refuse to do what ifs, right? It's what we're hoping they can be, what we're hoping they're projecting to be. Like Jayden is going to revive, because I think that Jayden spends too much time reviving careers than getting to his ceiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give you some players, right? 0 is what ifism, right? And 10 is you actually believe that they're going to produce this year.
Ooh, okay.
All right, you ready?
I'm gonna piss some people off. I already know my answer.
All right, let's start out. Van Jefferson.
15.
All right. No, 0 to 10. My bad. 0 to 10.
Oh, 0 to 10. Then I'm gonna give him a 2.
Yeah, there it is.
A 2.
Jaylen Lane.
Jaylen Lane. That's tough. I'm gonna say, because he's actually gonna make the team. I don't think Van Jefferson makes the team. I'm gonna say 4. If you count the punt returns, it's gonna be like a 4.5. So I'm gonna keep it at 4.
Luke McCaffrey.
I think Luke's gonna be a 6 to 7. To be honest with you, I think Luke McCaffrey outproduces all of. If your name's not Terry or Antonio Williams, I think Luke McCaffrey outproduces them.
We're gonna come back to that because that's very interesting. We're gonna come back to that. De'Ami Brown.
See, this is where I'm gonna piss people off. I'm gonna say 3. I haven't seen it. Besides that playoff run, he was here for years. When have we seen De'Ami actually produce throughout the entire regular season? He hasn't yet.
He hasn't. Treylon Burks.
God, if he's healthy, 4. If he's not, 3. I think he's right there with De'Ami. He just has a bunch of injuries. I think they'll have a similar amount of production depending on how long he can stay healthy for. But same thing, he's never had a whole season where he's been healthy.
All right, now Antonio Williams.
Oh, dude, oh my gosh. I think he's going to be an 8, which sounds crazy, but I think he's going to feast in this offense.
All right, so let's start right there, right? You got Terry, Antonio, and Luke McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your core 3.
That's my core.
That's your core 3. Here's my short for tomorrow morning. Explain to the fan base why that core 3 is going to be successful in this offense.
I think 1, because you have Terry McLaurin. You've seen that he's an alpha wide receiver. He can produce. If he's getting 10 targets a game, then he will absolutely be one of the top wide receivers, especially fantasy-wise. Antonio Williams, back in 2024 with Clemson, where he was in the slot and the Z, he came out as one of the best wide receivers in college football. He was wide receiver 1 going into the draft, and then they stuck him right back in the slot, like exclusively in the slot, and Clemson had a terrible season, and then he fell to Washington in the 3rd round, so that was a blessing in itself. And then Luke McCaffrey, before he got hurt, he was on pace to outproduce everyone on the team since Terry was out. It was going to be him and Debo, but that injury kept him out for the rest of the season. From what I've seen, he's gotten bigger, he's gotten faster, and it's another off season where he's learning the position, and he has this familiarity with Jayden Daniels. I think him in a full season, I think he can give you 650 to 700 yards, which sounds insane, but he was on pace to do that.
This is the thing when it comes to Terry, right? Because I kind of look at last season, and we know how last year
I done deleted out my head.
Yeah, I got you. Same thing.
Just like Jayden, yep.
But like for Terry, I'm making a point that we can, like, I think he can handle that workload, right? Follow me for a second. And coming into the year, we know how training can work. We've seen him beginning of the year. He gets hurt, misses a couple games, comes back maybe too early. Who knows? He saw 3 or 4 different doctors or whatever the case may be, came back to Terry. And then once he did come back, he finished the year up. Terry looked better the second half of the year than what he did in the first half of the year, right? That's older, more wear and tear, more injuries, and he looked better. But this is the thing. I put him at 9 targets a game. That's going to put him, I think, at like 153, which is going to be like 20, almost 20 to 30 more than his highest year, which was 134, right? Is it too late? If it's not too late, how do you think they get him those targets?
I don't think it is too late. Like with how last season, like that was the biggest concern with everyone with the holdout. it wasn't like, is Terry going to get paid? It's like, why is this taking so long? Because he needs to be out there. Like, we knew he was going to get paid. We knew he wasn't going to get traded. We knew they weren't going to go into the season with this, unresolved, and he just wasn't going to play. Like, we knew the end result was going to be him getting paid. But, like, imagine if, someone, this is funny because I literally injured myself like 2 weeks ago. Imagine just like not working out and then just going full blown. You're running like 7-8 miles a day. Your body's like, okay, this sucks. But if you like ease into it, you're doing OTAs, you're doing mini camp. It's one thing like running routes and working out in Italy like he said he was, or whatever the heck he was doing, like running up the stairs. But to go full speed in a game, week in, week out, put yourself through that grind, like his body was in shock, like immediately. And is it age? Like, sure. But also it's just because he had that long stretch where he wasn't with the team. He wasn't going full on, in preseason, in training camp and out there, grinding with the team. So his body was just like, bam, this is shock. And now you're injured. So the fact that he's already like in really good shape from what everyone's like saying at practice and stuff like that. And he's been practicing with Jayden. They're out in LA right now. Like he's been, showing up to everything, just having that head start, that ramp up period at his age is like, it's massive. So now his body's ready for a full season. So I don't think it's too late. And I think David Blau was dead honest when he's like, I'm going to get him 10 targets a game. And he's not going to just be like on the left side running the same like deep 9 route or a cross route. Like he's going to do a lot more all over the field. Like what we used to see back in his like early days when he was taking slants like to the house and like stuff like that. Like, I know he had that one screen against the Lions, but like outside of that, it's just like, all right, Terry, go deep and we're going to toss it up to you. And like, hopefully you catch it. And he, half the time he would. So I think David Blau is going to put him in position to get 9-10 targets a game. I don't doubt him at all. I think people are like, oh, he's over exaggerating. I don't think it was. It might be 11 or 12 if they don't add another wide receiver. So,
and that's the thing that's been missing out of Cliff's offense for some reason the last couple of years is Terry in the slant route. Because like before that, like that's where he was like dangerous, right? Because you couldn't just sit back and wait for him to come to you. You didn't know if he was going to run slant route. So that's a great point. When it comes to the running back room, right? It is August, right? 53 is set. You get a first depth chart, and it's Rachaad White. They have a press conference, whatever. Rachaad White is going to be running back 1. Both of those guys are healthy throughout training camp. How does Rachaad White end up becoming RB1?
Because he can do literally everything. And like, so like, think about this, like last year, and I think he'll be better, but Bill just struggled in the receiving game. And Dan Quinn has even said it like twice during like the early, phase 2 and phase 3 or phase 1 and phase 2 of like, OTAs and minicamp. He's like, we need to see Bill better in the receiving game. That's pass protection and receiving. And then he had 4 fumbles last year. So I think they're going to see Rachaad, pass block better than any other running back on the team. He's actually like one of the best in the NFL, but then also his receiving ability in this offense. And I think he's super underrated at running the ball still. Like even back at Tampa Bay last year, he had one of his better seasons with less touches, 0 fumbles, and he just does everything so well. It's one of those guys where it's like, it's going to be so hard to take him off the field. But of course, Bill can give you those home run plays, and Kaytron Allen can punch in those red zone carries and get those, grinding out like 3rd and shorts or key situations where Bill fumbled the ball against the Bears. And like I said, he had some of those fumbles later in the season. I think Rachaad is going to be that guy. It's like, no matter what the situation is, you can have me on the field and the defense has no idea what we're about to do. So I've been saying, I think he is running back 1. And people are like, oh, you're down on Bill. Like you're hitting.
I know.
Bill.
That's
I'm
why
not.
I asked you that.
But I just, if he's doing what he's supposed to do, and it's hard to take him off the field. If it's 3rd and long, Rachaad White's on the field. If it's 1st and 10, I think Rachaad White's on the field.
I mean, not only when Bucky was out, when Bucky was in college, right? Like Rachaad White was the guy. Like he proven that he could be a 3-down back. He can be effective in the passing game and in the running game. So Kaytron Allen is someone that I'm absolutely going to be watching, right? Because I think he's going to be involved in this offense week in and week out. But when it comes to Ford, because Ford is also a proven vet too, right? He's just not, I don't think he's just a camp baddie, right? I just don't think that's the case. But when it comes to Kaytron Allen, Ford, and I don't know why I say
McNichols.
McNichols. When it comes to I don't know why Jayden kids
they're close.
Right.
Jeremy,
but those 3, how do you think that last roster spot, because I think they're going to carry 4 running backs.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you think those last 2 roster spots is going to wrinkle out?
Man, it's honestly, I mean, I agree with you. I think it's gonna be 4. I think Robert Henry goes to the practice squad
For sure.
and then whoever's left out between, look, I almost said McKissick, between McNichols and Ford. I think like they just let him go and let him sign with the team and get another opportunity. But I mean, it's tough because I agree with you. Like, just because I'm an Alabama fan, like I love Jerome Ford, but I'm like, he can scoot and he can pick up some big plays, and I don't think he's just some like bruiser back either. Like he actually had some good runs with the Browns when he was there. Yeah. But we saw last year that carry that McNichols had, the 60-yard touchdown. I was shocked when that happened. I was like, I did not see that come in at all. And we know he can pass protect. Like the play against the Bengals, one of the best blitz pickups I've seen by a running back probably ever. So they each have their own little niche, but they just have to show like who's more valuable. And people aren't going to talk about pass protection, and they're going to talk about the receiving game and go that in depth with the running back. But it's, if David Blau sees you and you're carrying the ball better than somebody else, but you're whiffing on blitzes in the passing game and Jayden's getting hit because of you, you're not going to last on the field. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I think Rachaad White's running back 1, because I know that he's got Jayden's back on those situations. And I would kind of give it to McNichols as of now, but we don't know. Jerome Ford could go crazy in preseason or something and surprise all of us.
Because both of them can do the special teams thing, right? Like, even Ford can be a returner too. He's showing.
Yeah. Quinn loves. He's talked about putting running backs on the kick returns so long. So that's another thing. Who can do that? Luke and whoever they decide to put back there with them.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting, because I think McNichols was back there a lot last year too, right? And I don't think that's because of they thought he was going to do anything, but that's all we had, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see how this room kind of pans out. The tight ends. Let's go to the tight ends, man. Where are you with Chig as a wide? Because my thing is, when we talk to wide receiver and we'll say, well, we got Chig as a wide receiver too. No, Chig is a tight end, right? And I understand he can do the things, but you can flex him out. You can do the slide. He can do, but I can't rob Peter to pay Paul, because if I'm looking at Chig as a wide receiver, then I need me a tight end. And is there any tight end that I can look at to say, you know what? This is the guy that I can depend on behind Chig. How are you looking at this tight end room, and how do you view Chig in his offense?
Yeah, I mean, I can see both sides of it. Like, I can agree with both sides of it, because the tight end position now is just such a focal point of the passing game. I mean, just look at like guys like Colson Loveland and Sam Laporta in this style of offense too. Chig is going to help out Terry and Antonio Williams so much, but then also just look at Jayden's track record. He looked towards Zach Ertz more than anybody expected. Right. What do you have, like 128 targets towards Ertz? And it's just, he just didn't have the, explosiveness after the catch. Like, no, Zach, he was literally 32nd in the league in yards after the catch. Now you have somebody that can run routes. He can do stuff after the catch. And Chig can like spread the field open. So Blau keeps saying we're going to stretch the field vertically and horizontally. I think he's talking about Chig a lot when he says that. Him and Antonio just being able to do stuff across the middle of the field, it's going to help out so much on the outside. So, but you still need him to block. You're probably going to have a lot of 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets. So like, I get it. He's a big part of the receiving game. Is he like a wide receiver 2? No, he's a tight end 1. So, but he's just a really good receiving one. But don't sleep on Ben Sinnott in this offense, man. I'm telling you, I'm not just saying that because I'm a Ben Sinnott stan since the Senior Bowl. But just it makes so much sense for him to fit in well with David Blau's scheme. Like, him and Cliff Kingsbury's scheme was the worst thing that could have happened.
Right.
But now you have a coach who knows how to use an H-back, knows how to put him out in the slot, knows how to keep him in line. And you talk about like these throws on the run, you talk about the play action, the boots, even, some rollout throws. Ben Sinnott's going to be featured a lot. And I think people are going to finally see that he's going to be a natural fit in this offense, where before he's like, all right, we're in a shotgun pistol offense and I'm just blocking in the run game whenever they need me to. So I think honestly, this is going to surprise people. I think he's tight end too. by the time the season's over.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be a surprise, right? Like this should be the push. Like even if Dan Quinn had to steal some snaps from Bates in order to get him there, because this is where I think that he was drafted, right? Adam Peters even said about the Kyle Juszczyk, and even at Kansas State, he was so effective coming out of the backfield in that H-back type of role. That's why when I first watched him, I of course I thought of Cooley, right? Because Cooley did it at an elite level. But the thing is, now we have to see it. Right, like I said the other day, if he could get me 2 first downs a game, that's better than what he's done the first 2 years, right? If he can do that, because I've seen him do that, like he has done that in the NFL. So I'm very interested to see how they approach Ben Sinnott as far as these tight ends. All right, let's go to the other side of the ball real quick, right? Rasul Douglas. Right, I don't know which Rasul Douglas we're going to get. Hopefully, we get the one that we saw last year. Right, right. Well, the Miami one was pretty good too.
Yeah,
right?
He's good.
The Bills 2023 one was pretty good too. Right, when he had the 5 picks, and the couple years before that, like you said, the Packers, because it's like every other year he's really good, but. If history lines up, we might get the bad year.
We might get 5 interceptions.
Right. We just never know, right? How confident are you with these cornerbacks?
I do feel a lot better after adding him, to be honest with you. And like I remember when I went live afterwards, everyone's like, "Oh, we got like a good depth piece." I'm like, pump the brakes. Like there was reports that he was, taking his time with the process, and he had offers from a couple teams. I think like the Seahawks are one. There's like 2 or 3 other teams that got mentioned. I can't remember. Even Miami, like going back to Miami, could have been an option. But I think he just looked at Washington like, okay, they got Trey Amos. We don't know if he's going to be healthy for training camp. Like, I don't know. He broke his leg. Like, that's pretty bad. But then he's kind of like, okay, they have a 5'9" and a 5'10" corner playing outside. We don't know who's going to play where yet. I think I'm going to go there. I'm 6'2", 205, 207, something like that. I think I could start on the outside. He joined Miami last year, like mid-August, turned into a starter, ended up being a really good corner last year. Like you said, he had a very solid season. He didn't play against us, but I think he only missed 2 games, but he played 91% of snaps as a late signer. Like imagine Von Miller just coming over here last season, like signed late and played 91% of snaps and played really well. Like it's crazy that he did that. So I'm saying, man, he might start.
Yeah, because we don't know about Amos, right? Like if he starts training camp on a pup, we're not going to see him through August.
I'm telling you, I hope it doesn't happen. August 1st, all the fans show up, and the first thing we hear is Trey Amos is in practice.
Yep.
Everybody's going to start talking about it.
Yep. And here comes Rasul Duck, just that fast. The other side, right? Just that fast. And when you think about even after I think he had like an ankle, I forgot what it was. When he came back from injury, he got like back-to-back picks and back-to-back weeks, right? So it's very going to be interesting to see. He's going to be 31, I think, when the season starts, something like that, right?
I think he turns 31 middle of August or something like that. No, August,
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. All right. 3rd and 8, 4th quarter, 3 minutes. We down 5. I need the ball back. Who are you depending on to get a pressure, a sack, batted ball, flip the side of the field? Who are you dependent on the front 7?
I'm going Odafe away, man.
There it is.
He is so big. He's so big. Just seeing him and stuff like with the
I can't wait to see him and Sonny at training camp.
Oh man, I remember talking to my guy Abdullah Kante. I have him on my show, and he said, "Bro, he is." I did not expect that. Like I was asking him, like, who got bigger? Like who surprised you? He's like, oh yeah, Luke McCaffrey got bigger. Duran and Johnny Newton look in shape. He's like, but Odafe away from another planet. He's one of the Monstars from Space Jam. I cannot wait to see what he looks like, man. And I know there's a lot of like the national media kind of writing it off, like, oh, it's Odafe away. Like we'll see what happens. Yeah. And the right fit, man, he showed that he can produce and get a lot of pressures and get sacks on defense. I think this defense is going to be exactly the kind of right fit he needs with Coach Henne. Bro, Coach Henne's one of those ones, man. I'm telling you, that defensive line is going to be ready this year.
I think they're going to be crazy for sure.
Give me Odafe away. And Caleb Von Chason is kind of an underrated one too. I think he's in key moments. I think he's going to show up too. But Odafe away, might have put all my chips in on somebody. It's him.
Why you think they so and I know how you feel about certain media, especially national, different things like that,
No.
right? But the ESPN, right? He wasn't part of the top 10. He wasn't honorable mention. He didn't even get one vote. Like, I mean, Montez Sweat got a vote. He didn't even get
That's
a vote.
crazy.
Why do you think they're so low on Odafe Owe?
I think the whole thing with like, okay, he was with the Ravens, he got traded to the Chargers, now he's on another team. Like, I think they're more looking at like who is like a solidified name, and I don't think he's a household name yet. Like, I think it's fair to say,
Yeah.
oh, like not honorable mentions. Like, we're not gonna put him there just because he got a big contract. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it. Like, I think like realistically with how many good players are out there right now, like they're gonna talk about the Myles Garretts and the Max Crosby and the Bosa's. And, you know, like those household names, like I don't think he's there yet, but can he be after the season? Absolutely. But you go from one team to another, and now you're on a third team in 2 years. Like they're gonna look at that as like, okay, like, you know, whatever. We'll see what happens with that. Did they give him too much money? I don't think so. I think he's entering that like that breakout point because he's still a young guy. So I think he's going to be comfortable in Washington. He's going to be here for a long time, and he's going to break out and turn into one of those players. So is he here like yet? No, I think it's still too early. So I'm not mad at it. I think it's realistic.
All right, a couple more questions. I think we're gonna have a multiple defense. I think we're gonna have different sets.
Mm-hmm.
I think Devontae is gonna play it week by week, quarter by quarter, possession by possession. Right.
I think so too.
When it comes to the linebackers, right? I think these is probably the most athletic we have been either in a long time or ever, right? And I'm talking all the way down to Kane Madrano. There's tons of athletic guys. Do you think it's fair or not fair? When we say, oh, Sonny's going to be the mic, give him the green dot, blah, 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 do you think that's going to stunt his growth? And I say that to say, should he be more of a freelancer up and down the line of scrimmage because of how athletic he is, because he's a rookie, because he still has a lot to learn about the green dot and all of that? How do you feel about, or how would you employ Sonny Styles coming out for his rookie year, knowing that we have like Leo Chanel, Luvu, and a lot of other, because this is not a situation where we got one, like a half a guy, right? Like we have speed, we have athleticism, right? Like we have guys that can play the linebacker position at a high level.
I think they're doing the right thing. Because like go back to Ohio State that first year when he was 6, Sonny Styles, it was rough. Like, it was bad, but it was his first time playing linebacker, you know, on a pretty complicated professional Ohio State defense. And then year 2, he turned to block O Sonny Styles, where it's hard to get that number at Ohio State. Like you are the leader at that point. So, and he showed you what he could do. His growth from year 1 to year 2 was insane. Like he went from he might be a pro player to this is a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, and like a good defensive draft too. Like it wasn't like a like back in like the Kenny Pickett draft or anything like that, where it's just no one to pick from. Like there was a lot. Caleb Downs. Oh, so bad of a draft. Like he went above Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs like has been sensational since he was like 17. He could have been in the NFL 18 easily.
Right.
So I think they're doing the right thing. Like Mitch said, dude, he is so smart. That kind of jump, you don't see that often, especially from someone at that position, like at linebacker, and you turn into the green dot guy to where you are making sure everyone's in place, like you're holding everybody accountable, but then you're also leading by example. You didn't miss a single tackle until that Miami game last year. Like you are making big plays, you're breaking up passes, like you have everyone where they need to be. That defense was clicking last year. So I think it's smart. Like they're like, let's push him. And Dan Quinn said, like, we are going to put him everywhere. We're going to test him with everything. And I think him having that green dot is great for his growth, because it's like, if he can handle it, give it to him. It's one thing to be like we'll see. Like he might be able to, but if he's like, give it to me, and he's already commanding the huddle, and he's already running the defense, see, bro. Give it to him, man. I want to hear him cussing somebody out at training camp from the other side of the field. So yeah,
that's what I want to see, man.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait.
We're gonna be sweating, but it's gonna be worth it.
Hey, I mean, we'll definitely hook up at camp, because I know you'll be there a few. I'm gonna be there a few of those days. Try to get there, but let everyone know. Man, so much more I want to talk about. So we try to reach back out, try to get before the season
absolutely,
starts.
man. Yeah.
We can chop it up some more, bro. But let everyone know where they can find you at the new channel, which I think is popping, and it goes to show your work, right, and what you put out to this community, that like you can just start a channel and then all of a sudden it's like this channel has been here for longer than what it actually has, and your writings and all those good types of things, and your insider information, like all of that different stuff, man. I see you take some heat for it. Like I see you battling sometimes.
Part of the game,
battling on the timeline. But yeah, man, I absolutely appreciate, man. Let everybody know how they can follow you.
No, I appreciate you having me on, man. Like I said, hit me up anytime. I will be on here. But on social media, it's at Josh Taylor FB, like football. And then for the new YouTube channel, it's covering the Commanders. Yeah, sub it up, man. We got a lot of stuff coming up on the channel. And then, like you said, training camp 3 weeks away. So we'll be out there. I'll be out there every single practice. So let me know when you're there. We'll definitely link up.
All right, for sure. Appreciate you, Josh, man.
All right, y'all take care. Appreciate it.
All right. Yep, that was Josh Taylor. Now we got up First String Podcast. We got Toothpick in the build. First of all, that name gives me 80s vibes, 70s, 80s vibes. Uncle Toothpick is coming. Uncle Tooth, like that's just what it gives me, man. Uncle Toothpick is the coolest uncle. He got the hat. He got the 82 deuce in the cord. He always leaning back. He coming. All you hear, all your mama. He come with another girl. He come with another. He come with another. That name is legendary, man. Toothpick, man. I appreciate you for coming on, man. It's been a long time coming, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you reaching out. I really had to jump in on the joint, man. It was it's one of those things, man. I've been watching you for a while, you know, and I just enjoy your content. So when you reached out, I was all in. I was all in for sure.
Appreciate that, man. All right, let's talk about these Commanders, man. Like,
yes.
A whole lot has been going on, right? A whole lot, and I'm trying to, like, talking to all everybody. I'm trying to like mix it up a little bit, right? Talk about something here, maybe something there. But of course, the forefront is Ayuk, right? Ayuk was at the forefront. But before we go there, I want to shout out Rigo, right? He's getting this number retired, and the video they did of him was very interesting. It was very well done. Him talking about how much the fans mean, right? Like it's the fans. Like we are entertainment, right? You like the NFL names might be on the check, but I get paid by the fans, right? Yes. Like I love that whole monologue that he did for his have his jersey retired. Long time coming. It should have been happened. Josh Hurst is doing what it is that he needs to do, right?
Right.
Who's next?
Ooh,
who's next?
First off, before we get to who's next, let me say this.
Yeah.
When we went away from our colors, it was almost like they just told the past to forget y'all. Y'all don't matter no more. We switching up on y'all. And I think John Riggins took that personal because we haven't seen John around in a long time. It's like being dumped. I think somebody said it was like being dumped by your girlfriend before you knew she had moved on with another person. She just showed up with that person, right?
Showed up.
So he felt some kind of way. He felt some kind of way, and I missed hearing John's voice, right? I miss hearing John, you know, on the radios. I miss seeing John in the places. And I shout out to the owners and that whole group for wanting to bring the old guys back, the ones that won Super Bowl rings, to have them come and speak to these guys. But you asked the question, who is next?
All right, so let's think about this, right? This is who we got so far, right? We got Sammy, Bobby recently. We got Sonny, Sean recently, Daryl recently, and then we got Monk, right? Well, I think they're going to do it for like at least the next few years, right? That's what it seems like the pattern is going to be.
I'm going to tell you something. They got somebody that they just put into the Ring of Fame. Well, a couple of years ago. They put him in the Ring of Fame a couple of years ago, right? And he's eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame coming up.
Okay.
He's number 2 on the list. And matter of fact, somebody gave him a shout out in their speech last year, saying that they should have been before, that he should have been before them. Y'all know who I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about 30, right?
Yep.
He's still here in the area. He still works with the Commanders. He's from Louisiana, but this is where he calls home. He's played for Philadelphia. He played for the New York Giants, but this is where he calls home,
Mm-hmm.
right? He does a ton for our community.
Yep.
He's still in the community. He rides out for the vets. I love Joe Jacoby. I love Joe Jacoby
Mm-hmm.
off the bench. I'm with you. Jake should definitely be in the Hall of Fame, but I think it's Dirty 30. I
Yeah.
think it's B Mitch.
I wouldn't be surprised, right? I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think it took a long time for somebody. Like, where is he number 3 all-purpose yards? Because it took a long time for someone to
When
beat
he
that
when
record.
when he retired, he was way higher. But
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
believe like he is actually like number 2 right now. I think he's
yeah.
only
It
behind
can't be
Jerry Rice.
far, right?
Yeah,
It's not past 3. I know that because somebody just broke it just like a few years back, right? And he's one of the best kick returners ever. Like, but he just the one thing that he didn't have was like that flash persona, right? Like he didn't have that flash persona. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it is him. But shout out to Rigo, shout out to Josh for what they're doing for the community, man. All right, where are you? All right, I'm gonna start with the defensive side, and I want to start in the trenches with you, Toothpick, because I know the trenches wins football games.
yes.
How big of a deal is the signing of Tim Settle, right, for Deron Payne? Because we know Deron Payne really hates playing the zero tech. Like he didn't want to do it in Alabama. He didn't want to do it here. Now you have the Penguin back who all he wants to do is play the zero tech.
Yes.
How is this going to help Deron Payne? Oh, he's number 2. He's number 2.
Yeah. I knew I was right. You know, you got a crack research staff right there.
Yeah.
With off the bench, you know.
That's right.
And I just pulled it up as well. So he just beat me too. I just didn't say anything. I think that it's everything because you got someone in Tim Settle that all he wants to do is be in the middle. Have you ever, dudes? Have you? Everybody got a friend that loves to fight.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Everybody got a friend that loves to fight.
You can't take them everywhere.
You can't take them everywhere, but you know when you go into the club, you want to take them, and that's
right.
Tim Settle.
Yeah.
That's Tim Settle, and you know the crazy part about it is, it's not that you know big man don't want to fight. I'm not talking about Tim. I'm talking about Payne right now. It's not that he don't want to fight. It's he want to beat up one person. You know what I mean? He just want to let me take this guard out today.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna bang on this guard all day so you can deal with them other 2 over there,
right.
and that's gonna free up somebody else.
Right.
But Tim Settle want the smoke. He here for the smoke, and I'm
right.
here. I think that Tim Settle, for me, that was the biggest signing because it lets everybody else be themselves. It lets Deron Payne be himself. It lets Jimmy Neutron be himself. You know, Jajon Neutron.
Yeah, I got you.
It lets him be himself, but most importantly, it let big number 99 be himself because we didn't see him last year. So I think that this signing in Tim Settle actually allows the rest of the defensive line to be themselves, which is beat one-on-ones because they're going to have to deal with me because if they don't deal with me, then, you know, that means I'm free and I'll let y'all do what y'all got to do.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like if you go back over the course of the last 5-6 decades, a lot of the great linebackers played behind a great nose guard, a great zero tech, D-type, whatever it is you want to call them, play behind a great one, right? And if Settle can be that guy, that I don't care which side, shade me left, shade me right, whoever's here, I'm punching them right in the mouth. I just want to listen. I just want to dance with these 3 dudes all game,
all
That's
day.
What I care about. I want to dance
day.
with these 3 dudes all game. Y'all could do all the stat stuff. I just want to dance with all 3 of these dudes all game. And I think, like you said, I think that's going to help Deron Payne. And I also think it's going to help Johnny Newton a whole lot, right? Because that's where he's most effective at the 3 tech, getting upfield, you know, using his speed, using his athleticism. Because, like, hopefully he's got a little bigger, right? Because his rookie year, he was just getting pushed all around. Last year, he's still getting a little bit pushed all around. So hopefully he did get a little but he called him Dave. But okay.
He called him 26 Dave Butts.
Hold on.
He called him 26 Dave Butts.
Let's settle down a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Black Air Force energy for sure. When it comes to the pass rushes, right? I think we have plethora of pass rushers, right? I think the competition for these guys' camp is not about who's starting. I think it's about who's going to finish, right? Who can show that they can play it and be highly effective in multiple sets. going into the year, because I think our defenses is going to be multiple, right? Which one of these edge rushers, like list your edge rushers and your preference of your edge, and I'm just talking just pass rushers right now. I'm not talking about their ability to defend the run, just pass rushing.
Coming off the edge.
Yep.
Ooh. Okay, so
I'm throwing Sonny in there too.
So some of them, they have a LB beside them. So let's start off with 4. We got the best version of 4 in 2024. This is an even year number, so hopefully we get him back to being what he's supposed to be, and that's not playing in the passing game, getting out into the flats. It should be stressing out a quarterback, because you got a crazy Uso coming. So 4 is definitely there. Ooh, man. From there, let's work with some of these D ends here. Man, I'm excited about our new additions, Adafe Owe. I'm excited about that. I want to see what he can do. I'm excited to see Dietrich Wise. Hopefully he comes back and he's healthy. Last year he was killing last year before he got hurt. Led the team in sacks and didn't play the last couple of games. What did he miss, like 10 games last year or something like that?
Yeah, Dietrich Wise got hurt like week.
He got hurt early. He got
hurt against Green Bay.
Yes. So that's like week 2, right?
Yep.
So no, I'm thinking about Dorrance Armstrong, who is my next person as
well.
I think
he got hurt like week 3, came back, then I think he got hurt again.
So,
but he led the team, but Dietrich Wise was playing. He played those first 2 weeks really well in the run game. Like he was playing really well before he got hurt.
So I want to see Wise. I want to see 4 get back to doing this thing there too, and I'm excited to see who else makes a name for themselves and pushes for one of these jobs, because it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to get on this field, and that's the best part about it is no giving. And if you mess up, like back in the days, you mess up, who you going to replace me with? Because we ain't have no depth, right? So I blew the assignment, but what you going to do about it?
Right. That's so true.
We're going to sit you down. We're going to put somebody else in here that knows what to do. So it's the depth for me.
That's so true.
It's the depth for me, man. Yeah, you blow an assignment, you sit on the sideline. You wondering 2-3 series down the road, am I getting back in? No.
Yeah, and I never even thought about it, but I mean, we talk about depth. I think this is the best depth team we've had in decades, probably, right? Where somebody can go down and somebody could come right and you don't miss a beat, right? And that, especially when it comes to these edge rushers, right? You got Chason, you got Wise, you got Dorrance Armstrong, you got Odafe, you got Luvu, you can have Sonny out there. You have so many guys. Omenahue, like you have so many guys. I mean, Leo Schnall can rush the passer too.
Yep.
Right. So you have so many of them. Man, that's a great point. Like you got to go out there and play.
Why we signed. I think the depth issue is why we brought in Rasul Douglas. I think that's why we brought him in too, because remember back in towards the end of training camp, some of the guys that wasn't getting enough burn, the 2s and the 3s, they gave them another look and they said, wait a minute, we might have a problem.
Who's that? Othello. Maybe he didn't look.
He didn't.
How they expected him to look.
Somebody didn't look the way they were supposed to look, and what happened? We go out. Now they back in the office now because we're a couple of weeks away. They back in the office. They shaking the rust off. They going over tape. They trying to lay out the plans for this training camp and how we're going to execute it and get better every day. So that signing, it says something, man. It says something. It says something to that corner room as well. I know we're talking about the defensive line right now and the edge rushers, but it says something to both of them because they work hand in hand, right?
Yep.
They worked hand in hand. I think I heard Fred Smoot say this. Matter of fact, it was Fred Smoot that said, when you got that pass rush out there and they hunting, you eliminate all but 2 routes, a fade and a slant. So if they not hunting, now we got more routes to deal with.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, Smoot is a technician for sure. And that's the thing with the Rasul Douglas, because they said that they've been in talks with him over the last throughout the off season, but they finally made a move, right? Like, and it could have been other teams starting to ramp up because they doing the same thing. They watching practices, they watching the OTAs, the tape back, they watching the mini camp tape back, and hey, come on, I want to come there. Some people calling, which I want to do, right? And then you got the crash out in Detroit that's kidnapping innocent people. right? So you got a big hole in Detroit. So who knows how all that went down? And then let's bring it back to here. I mean, Josh was just talking about it. Trey Amos, right? Like
I
we've
think
seen a
Trey
little
Amos is
bit
going
of
to be
him.
ready. It's a broken leg. It wasn't the MCL. It wasn't the ACL. It wasn't the PCL. It was none of the L's, right? It's
Right,
a
right, right,
broken leg. That's
right.
a 6-week injury, right? So you don't have to go back and get the scar tissue broken or nothing like that because it's a bone, right? It's a
Yeah,
bone.
sure.
So I think that he should be quicker, faster, stronger, and he's going to come back and show everybody that he's pushing to be our number one corner. He pretty much was our best corner. He just didn't have the interceptions and things of that nature, right? Because
Yeah,
teams stayed away from him. They
yeah,
didn't
because they
pick
was
on
picking
him.
on those other dudes. Yeah,
They picked on
yeah.
everybody else. So now you're not gonna be able to do that. I think Trey Amos is gonna be fine. I'm not worried about Trey Amos. I'm more so worried about when it comes to the secondary. I'm more so worried about the confidence of Quan Martin.
That's it, right? And I think the idea of Quan Martin, even Durante Jones, his first press conference, the idea of Illinois' Quan Martin, right?
Mm-hmm.
The idea of it is a great idea. But again, it was almost 4 years ago, and it's just an idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can he put him in position to be successful, right? Can he erase everything that he was accustomed to these last few years? And if he is able to do that, how soon can we see it? Right? Because if you think about it in our safety room, or even Nick, like all our safeties, we're all of them. There are better players
Yep.
closer to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Right? They can play free safety, but they're better players closer to the line of scrimmage. How do you see all that playing out?
Well, I think just like we said about Luvu,
Mm-hmm.
how there are things that he shouldn't do, like being in the flat, covering the tight end. There's things that he shouldn't do. He should be a nuisance. I think that when it comes to Quan, they they gave him too much. They
Okay.
overloaded him, right?
Okay.
Simplify it. So that's how I think that we get Quan back to being Quan. You simplify it. Okay, Quan, in this defense, you got the tight end. Just erase him. Okay, Quan, in this defense right here, you're buzzing underneath any in this area right here in the zone. Okay, Quan, you plan to run. You forcing this gap right here. This is your gap. Just simplify it. I don't think Quan is a deep third safety. I think Quan is coming down in the box. He may start off high in a two shell and then
Mm-hmm.
come down late in his cover three or something of that nature. I think Quan is going to be okay. I think I, I really like what I'm hearing and the things that I'm getting told a little bit about what our defense is going to look like. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So
Me,
I
me
think our
too. Me
secondary is
too, for
I think
sure.
our secondary is much improved from last year. And I think our linebackers, and it's crazy. Our linebackers are it's way different for coaches that were linebackers. Jack Del Rio,
Oh, please let's not
Ron
talk about
Rivera.
that
They
toothpick.
were they were
Please,
linebackers, and they could not
please.
identify a good linebacker to save their lives.
I mean, think about this. Think about this though, right? Like, um, some parents with children, they don't not take care of their kids, right? That might be a little extreme, right? But I'm
That's
just saying.
crazy.
But think about this though. Think about this though, right? Like I don't know if you ever coached football, right? Or been around coach. Like
I
I've
have.
coached football, and
I've coached
there
and
there
I've
are
played.
guys that you say, hey man, come coach with me, because they were great athletes when you were growing up. But when you start coaching, they don't know what 13 personnel is, right? They don't know what the gap assignments is. They don't know, like, they don't know routes. They don't know any of that, right? So like it's a thing where because you did something before, it doesn't mean that you're going to be good at teaching it, right? It's one
Mm-hmm.
thing
Mm-hmm.
to know how to do something, and there's another thing on how to teach somebody how to do something, right? So like when it comes to Durante Jones and what he has been able to do as a position coach, I think that matters a whole lot on what he was able to do as a position coach across different college, right, into the pros. He's almost 50 years old and he's just getting this chance, right? But he's been successful at position coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when it comes to the safeties, right? I think we're going to see a lot of three safety sets,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we're going to need three solid safeties. right?
Okay. So if you putting 3 safeties on the field, you going 2 corners, or you taking a linebacker off the field? You going two linebackers, 3 corners, and then 3 safeties. So you talking like a big nickel type situation here. So then you got to figure out which one of your safeties can run. You know what I mean? Because this is the NFC East we talk about. Let's stay close to home first, right? We got tight ends, we got wide receivers in this division, and before you think about anything else, you got to think about winning your division, right? So let's just go down south and talk about the boogers that we have down there that we're stars, right? They got 2 good receivers, right? And they got a nice tight end. Their third wide receiver, just in case anybody forgot, this dude dropped the ball, did a spin-a-rooney, and hit the Jets on us on special teams and broke everybody's hearts at home, right? So we know that dude, their third wide receiver, is fast and can go. Did we forget about their tight end already? So when you talk about this 3 safety set, that's what I'm thinking already is – we got to keep a corner on the field to deal with that third wide receiver, and we can't forget about that tight end. So who can deal with that dude? Who can erase him? And we're not even talking about Philadelphia yet.
No, we haven't got there. But see, like that's what I mean by the idea of Quan Martin, right? The idea of Quan Martin, right? Because
I think he can handle every tight end in this division. I think he can handle every tight end in this division. And if he can't, Nick Cross can. He wants the smoke. Nick Cross is here for smoke.
Yeah, but I think like Nick Cross, like is he going to be able to unleash the full Nick Cross, or is he going to have to be a babysitter and sit in the middle of the field? Because Will Harris and Quan Martin just absolutely, you cannot keep them back there protecting the end zone.
Hold on. Let me scroll down real fast because there's another safety on this list that we haven't even spoken about yet, right?
So I know it ain't Revo.
I'm about to talk about Revo.
Yeah, Revo. Okay.
Revo.
But he again, around a line of scrimmage.
No, but Revo can cover up a lot more than what people think. And for the most part, I do trust Will. I trust Will a lot. I think he's really super smart, and he will get people where they're supposed to be. The one that I'm interested in seeing is actually Tyler Owens. I want to see his growth and his maturity coming in to this year right here. This is year 3. He's going into year 3.
Yeah,
I want to see his growth. But I think that between Will, Revo, they should be able to handle the back third. That way you can keep Nick Cross and Quan down close to the line of scrimmage and play games with them.
Whew. I love Revo. Like I got videos with Revo. Revo, my man. I got a fan invited to his wedding, right? Like all that good stuff with Revo. But like I don't know, man. I just think that I would love to see like Revo be a guy that you can bring in and sneak him into the backfield, right? Because I think that's just where he can really make an impact because he's not afraid to go in, right? But when it comes to that, and even somebody made the comment about like I don't think there might be a couple true free safeties, quote unquote, in the NFL, but a lot of these are interchangeable now, right?
Yes.
Like they're playing both. That's just the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
And I think with Blau, what he's going to try to do is the same thing they did at Minnesota. Right, they did the 2 shell deep type thing. They may have dropped them down, 3 safeties, try to keep everything in front of them to try to try to hide some of those deficiencies about having a true deep defender. But I just want to be able to have these guys play at their highest talent, their highest ceiling in this defense. And just to get to the coaches real quick, Toothpick.
Hold on, can I say one more thing?
Go ahead. Yep.
The one thing that I wanted to say about the safeties is you pointed it out. There's no such thing as a true free safety no more. You may have that one free safety like a Caleb Downs that came out this year, but even Caleb can come down.
Yeah, he's all over the place. Yeah.
So right now, think of it this way: when you talking about safeties, you're not talking about like a corner that moved to safety. You're talking about a person that he can play deep or he can cover a tight end. There's no more such things as Sean Taylor's, and Sean was a strong safety. He wasn't even a free safety. He was a strong safety that could if you put him in the middle of the field, he can get to the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
So
sideline to sideline.
everybody knows who Sean is. And just think about it that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sean was a strong safety that could play back. Do y'all remember who his free safeties were? Because his first free safety was Ryan Clark, right?
Yeah,
His
Ryan
first free
Clark.
safety was Ryan Clark. And,
Yeah,
and him
LaRon
and Ryan
Landry.
talked so much, they would change jobs so fast and so often that nobody knew. And then the second one was LaRon Landry, and we know Muscles. We know what he did. So, all right, let's talk about these coaches now.
All right, so we have 2 rookie play callers. We have one guy that never led a position group as a coach ever in his life, right? Last year, this time, he was the assistant quarterbacks coach, and now he is the offensive coordinator, right? With 2 years of coaching experience, and then you can call him the clipboard quarterback or whatever.
Okay.
All right, cool. You can give him that. And then you have Durante Jones, who has experience calling plays. He ran programs, HBCU. Bowie, shout out to him. He's been around one of the best coordinators ever. So I have no doubts about their smarts and what they're able to do to the game, bring to the game, right? My only concern, I want you to talk about both of them. And if you are concerned, if you're worried, if you're opposite of both of those, when it comes to within 24 seconds, how confident are you in Durante Jones within 24-second play clock?
Oh, I'm very confident in Durante Jones. I think that he is ready for this moment. I think he's been looking forward to this moment. I think he's rehearsed it. I think he's practiced it. And now he's ready to show the world that he's ready, right? I think he's been building on this for quite a while, and he got overlooked. So hopefully it's us that found, a good thing when it comes to a defensive coordinator. And I'm interested in seeing his differences because everybody's like, oh, he's just going to run a Brian Flores' defense. I want to see the things that he put in there that are different than what people expect. I want to see his wrinkles, but I think he's 100% ready, and I'm totally confident in him. And not only that, but he has the talent to go do it. So it's one thing to be ready for this, and all right, I got one for you.
Here we
Deuce,
go.
You ever want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you got the jelly and you ain't got the peanut butter?
I'm gonna tell you a true story. And Cal, I see you in the backstage, Cal. This is black people stuff, Cal. I see you back there. This is black people stuff. I will go randomly grab a spoon, right?
Yeah.
And my peanut butter, get my jelly, squeeze it, and just eat like 4 spoons just like that.
See, but you understand what I'm saying is you can have 2 things that don't match. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I think he has the things that match to show his smarts and what he's been working on and the people to go implement it. And if, like I said before, if you're not doing what he asks you to do, there are people behind you waiting to get on the field.
That's right.
So I'm truly confident in him.
All right, David Blau.
I think that Detroit was calling for a reason. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's just because he played with Detroit. I think that they knew as a player that he was smart. Have you ever heard you've heard other people say, oh, we knew this player was going to be a coach. We knew this person was going to be a coach because of how they did things, how they prepared, how they went about their days and things of that nature. So with David Blau, I think he is ahead of his own timeline right now.
Okay.
Especially coming off of what we saw last year. I believe that Dan Quinn he couldn't go back into another year with the Wonder Genius, the quarterback killer, as his offensive coordinator.
Cliff.
You can't do it, man, because they say a running back has 2 jobs before he carries the ball, right? Pass pro, right? And and then not fumbling. Those are the 2 things that you got to do. Well, I don't think that Cliff keeps into account that he has to keep his quarterback up. You're sending everybody out in a pattern and you only have 5 people back to defend your quarterback, and you expect your quarterback to just run. You're shortening the lifespan of your own quarterback, man. You were doing him no help, no service. So that's a true injustice, man. You can't keep that going. So I think David Blau understands the importance of running the ball. I think he understands the importance of play action pass to keep the defenses off balance. I think he understands that keeping your linebackers in their spots once that ball is snapped and not letting them see the ball to either attack a hole or to drop back. It allows the wide receivers to get behind those guys and find those soft pockets. So with those things being said, I think that David Blau is ready. I hope that I thought we had an outstanding offensive line last year. Yeah. So I hope that offensive line picks up right where they left off. Minus the center position. We got a center and we got a left guard position, but I think Chris Paul should be in a fight for his life to get that spot back. And I'm just interested in seeing what that offense is going to look like this year and how we keep JD5 clean. Because he got some gangsters in front of him.
Yeah, for
on
sure.
That offensive line. We just got to solidify 2 positions on that offensive line and let him go to work.
Yeah, like we like Alec Grady is Alec Grady, right? And that's all I got. That's all I got, right? Alec Grady is Alec Grady. That's all I got. But Toothpick, man, appreciate you for joining, man. It's been an honor, man. We definitely gonna have to chop it back up before the season starts, maybe sometime during training camp. But let everybody know how they can follow you, where you be at.
All right, yeah. So First String Podcast is where you'll find me. We stream live on Tuesdays and Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So that's 7:30 Central, and I don't know what time it is West Coast, but I know we'll be having West Coast people in there. We welcome everybody in, right? And just so y'all know, I have a cowboy co-host. I say you keep your enemies close. You have to know what the enemy's doing.
Good warning.
So I have a cowboy co-host. So come in there, give out a business, right? Give them the business, and we keep them down. We keep our cowboy friends down. But we also have Philadelphia Eagle fans that pop in, and New York Giant fans that pop in. So it's all East. It's all East for us. So you'll find us. You'll find me there, man. And on Tuesday, we got Donna Hopkins coming. So
there it is. Yeah. Appreciate that. Appreciate Donna, man. Like, she does really good work.
Yeah, man. I love Donna.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. I will definitely catch up with you, man. Appreciate you for coming through, taking the time.
Thank you for having me, man.
Peace. All right, man. Y'all know what time it is.
Man.
Like, I don't even like. I put so. First of all, you don't know introduction, right? Like you're like your channel is literally linked to the show, right? Like,
yeah.
So like you don't need an introduction. So and for this hell briefings that I'm having, I said, should I put the Podfather? Should I put Cal? Should I put what should I put? I said, you know what? I don't think the Podfather, the actual nickname, gets enough not credit, but gets enough shine across this Commanders community. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the Podfather.
Appreciate you, man. You know, I put in when I put in the StreamYard or whatever, I put in Kyle 2% Roenick, and so I think the 2%, and that's what I am so distraught that you said, this is black people stuff, Kyle. You don't know about this. Like, excuse me, sir. Excuse me. What's up, dudes, man? It's been a while.
Oh, man. What's been good, man? Yes, it's been a while, man, since we talked draft, man. It's been a while. I guess we're going to be here in a couple of days. Did you hear?
No.
Some guy named Mike Hall.
Oh, dude, I did see that. And I was like, dude, we probably could have did this together. But honestly, Hall does deserve to have his own little spotlight, though. Like, he's freaking awesome, man. Like, he has an infectious laugh. Like, you and him are very similar in that sort of regard. But like, you both also bring in really good points that he backs up. And I think that he's somebody that definitely deserves to get more shine whenever he can.
Yeah, for sure. Because like, even when I was reaching out, and I always like on the timeline, always replying, we comment on each other's stuff. I said, let me see if he want to come on, and come on, because. And I told him when I tweeted it out his day, and he replied, I said, this might just be a full 30 minutes of trolling. It might just be a full 30 minutes of trolling. But yeah, man. But Cal, I've been talking about the wide receiver room, Terry and them, right?
Yeah.
That's just how I see the wide receiver room. And every conversation that we've had was about the wide receiver room. This is the thing, right? I'm going to give you some free agent wide receivers, and you let me know where do they come in this room as soon as they're signing papers, right? Keenan Allen.
Probably at 2, maybe 3. But I still think regardless of who we bring in, like I don't think Dan Quinn and AP can bring in any free agent wide receiver and give them the number 2, 3 slot right away. Like I think from a organizational perspective, it's about working to get what you deserve, right? I mean, when Jayden got drafted, they told him, if you want to be the starting quarterback, you got to earn it. They're doing it with Sonny Styles. They're telling Sonny, if you want to wear the green dot, you got to earn it. You got to show it to us. So nothing is just given with this team. That is what the whole culture is supposed to be, is working to get what you want. Well, whatever free agent they bring in here, they better be willing to work. And this is what I've been saying about BA, our biggest fan in the NFL right now. Apparently, I didn't know that.
He got Ashburn syndrome. I've never seen Ashburn syndrome.
He is a huge fan of our team, and it's crazy. He puts more hashtags out with Raise Hail than I do. And it's nuts. But like even bringing him in, dude, like you have to work to get what you want, right? I know these guys are talented, but you can't tell these younger cats, you can't tell Treylon Burks and company say, show up to voluntary camp, show up to mini camp, and then when we'll bring somebody else in here, it's going to basically take your snaps away immediately. Like I think that's like the Dan Snyder way of doing things. So I think regardless of who they bring in here, they're going to start at the bottom, and if they're talented enough, they prove themselves enough, they'll get a shot to come in and earn some snaps.
But this is the thing, though, right? And I get the culture thing, right? Like I get that part, right? But you're not Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, Debo. Well, Debo's a little different because he's already been here, right? So from your point, Debo, he's already fit.
Yeah,
right? He's already
he has proven himself.
I mean, he has proven himself,
dude. He had to carry a lot of weight last season without Terry. And he's never been a number 1 wide receiver, so to speak, but he definitely produced for us. And if you truck a couple Cowboys players, you're on my good list.
Yeah, for sure. And I listen, like I don't know what the hate is on Debo. Like I just don't understand why he's not in the conversations, right? Because when we think about the guys that everyone is talking about, right? Of course, BA, he's on a team, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's talking about his antics, right? Like he's never going to play again, never do any other things. When you got a dude that literally kidnapped innocent people, that you got teams allegedly, right? That you got teams reaching out to him for them to play, right? So you got this kidnapper that's still going to play in the league, but you got this guy doing Hot Wheels on Instagram that's never going to play again. All right, whatever. Like that's how you feel. And then you got Stephon Diggs, who was literally snort coke before the season last year, and now he got this menage a trois thing going on with some other males, right? So it doesn't matter like what you bring in here. There's drama like all around those guys that you're going to try to bring in here. So it's like your culture. If you want to add proven talent to this wide receiver room, you're going to have to test your culture out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's where it comes down to. Like with Debo, the hate on Debo, it's because like, we're this a lot of the NFL fan bases they're car guys, right? They like the fast cars. They don't like talking about Ford F-250s, which is what Debo is. He's hard to bring down. He can operate in space and being able to convert the chains and everything. It's just, I also think with Washington in particular, because obviously that's who we're talking about with fan wise, but with Debo, not much happened last season. And so instead of looking at it, let's say rationally in a nice way, they're looking at it, say, well, nothing exciting truly popped off with Debo. So it's not an exciting, because the unknown is more exciting than what we do know. But like, I know Hall, for instance, has said that Chigakonkwo can do a lot of what Debo can do. And it's like, I understand that, but in the same breath, it probably would be good to have 2 of those kind of guys in case something were to happen. You know what I mean? Like chain movers that can make or break you, getting a 3rd and 4, getting it north of the line of scrimmage, just being able to get across that pylon. Debo did that. And maybe we do need somebody else, but I also don't want to poo-poo what we have on the roster already. I've said this many times regarding the wide receiver position. I'm not saying I'm content with having mediocre, like the kids would say, mediocre, talent wise. My belief in Jayden Daniels performing is greater than anything. And I think the sender is more important than the receiver, in my personal opinion. And if you have a healthy Jayden Daniels, you have a very good chance of getting the most out of guys. San Fran drafted Ayuk, drafted Debo. They weren't first-round picks, and they ended up becoming household names. And that's because their system made things easy on the quarterback, made wide receivers catch the ball very easily and be able to operate in space. When we actually have that, you see guys like De'Ami Brown going and get paid. You see things like Alamati Zaccheaus having multiple teams at his disposal to go to because of that. And so I think that just with a healthy Jayden Daniels, even with what we have now, I'm confident that we're going to be able to move the football, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Stephon Diggs. Like, he's one of those players where he has all of this off-field drama stuff, but you never see it on field. Like, it never affects him on field, and he's always able to produce. So to that
Dog
point,
Tired says that. He says that until he sees him in the club one night. That's all I'm saying. You can say all you want.
He's definitely gonna be at Ibiza for sure. All right, so when you say that about Fab, right, and then you have the other side that say, well, how long are we going to expect for him to continue to raise floors, right? Because my whole sentiment about it is Jayden can't focus on getting to his highest ceiling because he's always trying to revive careers, right? Like, we have these guys where people say, oh, this is the best quarterback they've ever played for this and that. Bro, it's his 6th or 7th year in the league.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Jayden is like all the great quarterbacks are elevators. Like, that's just the truth.
Yeah.
But they can't take a guy from the 1st floor to the 9th floor. Like, they can't rate, like, great quarterbacks, schemes, like great player beside you, they can't raise your ceiling, but they can raise your floor, right? But at what point, like, this is the thing, because when Jayden has a bad throw, when Jayden, does something that he shouldn't do, whatever, are we going to have somebody that's going to be more talented than that throw to end up making that complete effect? Not more talented than Jayden, but are they going to be more talented than that throw in order to make Jayden look good, even though that was, and I just don't think that we have that outside of Terry, and when I'm hoping that Antonio Williams can be.
Yeah, I do think a lot of last season is more.
Yeah, I said it before you
is killing a lot of people's mindsets with this, because with the defense last season, we were basically just a doormat for opposing offenses. They could do whatever the hell they wanted. And we had to fight our way back into games. In 2024, when that had to be the case, we weren't really concerned because we knew Jayden could get it done. We had that confidence, and the defense just did enough to stay in the game. Last season, we were just getting blown out. And as much as anyone wants to say, really, football is a game of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And last season really derailed that for this defense. And so I think not only with having a healthy Jayden, having a run-based kind of offense like the Lions have and other teams have, where you utilize play action a lot more, I think having a defense that actually can get off the field by confusing offenses instead of sitting in this cookie-cutter kind of defense where you could see every time. I can't tell you how many times I said this on the podcast, dudes. I was like, it seems like they know exactly what we're doing. It seems like they're in the meeting rooms on defense, because they're coming through and every single second read is every time on point, and they're just eating it. Like the Detroit game, that was disgusting. And being able to confuse the offense is going to go that much farther. And I think that with the defense combined with that running attack, combined and the offensive line, I think that we are going to not have to worry so much about the wide receiver position as we were before. I think it's much more so about the offensive line, what we've built there, and the defensive line, and being able to control the trenches, because that's where football starts, is in the trenches.
This is absolutely Stephon Diggs. He is the Dennis Rodman of the NFL, for sure. That's a great comparison. But let me ask you this, though, Kyle. How much of that was on Cliff compared to no one was afraid of nothing that we had on the boundaries?
I think it more so is on Cliff. And what I mean by that is, You could tell the offensive line. Did you hear what Allegretti said in his press conference?
Go ahead.
About how they couldn't talk to each other until the end of series and being able to make adjustments. Like if you're you should be able to pick up. Your offensive line coach should be able to pick up to say something's wrong out there. We need to make some adjustments. And look, I understand. I love the no huddle offense. It gets teams tired, defenses tired quickly. I totally get it. But if your offensive line cannot execute soundly for your offense to operate in the way it's supposed to, it's not going to, you have to make go sometimes with huddle. And I do think that Cliff ultimately did bear a lot of weight on Jayden to bail them out of stuff. And that shouldn't be the case. And so I'm not going to say that Cliff was lazy or didn't come up with anything new. Everyone knows that Cliff works hard. But there needs, if you don't adapt, you get killed. It's just the way this environment, this is the way the jungle works. In the jungle, if you don't adapt to your surroundings, you're going to get eaten. And that's what essentially happened last season. And it cost Jayden Daniels the season, which is unfortunate because he needs as many snaps as possible in order for us to possibly contend for a Super Bowl by the time that he hits his end of the rookie contract.
I don't know who Scouts hates more, Allegretti or Wiley.
I know. Dude, all the time. All the time.
I don't know who Scouts hates more. And that's the thing with Blau, right? And we all know his experience, right? We all believe that he's smart, right? We've seen it. Like we starting to hear more and more stories on how he kind of constructed some of the plays from the 2024 run, and been that clipboard quarterback for so long. But those are the things that I'm concerned about, that I really want to see, right? Is him within 24 seconds. Like how is he going to adjust from play to play? How he's going to adjust from series to series? Where is he getting input from? How often are they giving him input? Yeah.
I'll take it a step farther. I do agree with you. That is going to be a legitimate. It's very different from being able to come up with a couple plays and implement them. Like I coached for the first time last season for middle school, right? In one game, I wrote up 3 defensive plays for us to run against a spread offense that could throw the football. They have some very good athletes. We shut them down. We shut them out. We won, I think, 34-0. That is very different from coming up with a game plan for every single team that you're facing, right? Like you could come up with a couple plays, that's fine. And I agree with you that it's very different to being able to come up with your first script, your opening script, and then I'll add to what you were saying. And I think it's going to be very telling to what happens with adjustments. Because you could go into a season saying, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to execute it. This is how they're going to respond. But until the bullets start flying, do things get mixed up? And you have to make adjustments on top of that. Is he prepared? That's my question is he prepared for those adjustments in game when teams start figuring things out? And that's a natural process and progress of a coordinator in this league, being prepared for whatever gets thrown their way. Sometimes things that you don't want to happen.
And this is how I feel going into week 1, because a lot of times we may hear, well, we're going to catch them off guard. They don't know what our offense is going to look like, this, and that. This is Fangio. He's one of the best coordinators ever. Yeah. Right? He has his defense, and he's going to run his defense no matter who he's facing week 1. Right. So it's not so much that he's going to be thinking, oh, I wonder what Blau going to be doing. No, that's not how he runs his defense. Right. He did that once with Jayden, right? And Jayden threw 5 touchdowns on him. Right. The next time he played his defense. He didn't switch it up. And I can pretty much confirm that I can't confirm it, right? But I can pretty much guess that he's going to come in and play that zone-ish type defense and not do that man thing with Jayden ate him up. And that's just what he's going to do. It doesn't matter what type of offense Blau is going to have. Fangio is going to run this defense the way that he runs his defense. And I don't like how much time this Blau has to get it. You got a head coach that's going on his 3rd year. He had one awesome year, one horrible year. You get punched in the mouth the first 2 weeks, things could get real ugly that Monday morning after Dallas, right? Yeah. So it's like Blau really is not coming in a situation where he's a first year head coach. We can kind of fill it out as the season goes on, because we need to win this year. They got to make a decision on a $70 million quarterback after this season. So we got to win. So how much pressure do you think is on David Blau to be successful?
I think himself. I think Goody talks about this. My co-host says that at the end of one press conference, he said, "I'm the most competitive person you'll ever meet."
Mm-hmm.
And I said this on our last pod. Last season by week 3, that Green Bay Packers game, that was kind of the blueprint for how the season was going to go. Is that we were not going to be in early and we were going to fight our way back, and it was essentially like we were in quicksand for the entire game. That's how the whole season kind of played out for Washington. So I agree that this season in particular, those first 3 games are monumental to how this team's going to go. I think a lot of pressure is on David Blau, without a doubt, to be able to succeed and to do well for Jayden and this offense, because he knows he has a massive opportunity here. But like he said himself, he's a massive competitor.
Right.
And not to fluff up Fangio too much, but he does have Jalen Carter. And it's kind of easy to sit back in zone when you have a defensive tackle that clogs run lanes very well, that can get after you. And that's why running the football, especially to the outside, is very effective against somebody like Jalen Carter. Because if you have that stretch game, you get his legs moving, then he's starting to slow down. By the time it gets the second or third quarter, he's not as strong as he was. He's huffing and puffing. He's got his hands on his waist. And every coach will tell you, as soon as those hands go on the waist, that's the time to punch him in the mouth,
Yep. On the other side of the ball, right? Who are you most excited to see this season on the defensive side of the ball?
Oh, it's so easy. It's so easy. I'll give you a couple hard ones. I'd say Tim Settle. I am so happy to see him back. I didn't want him to leave. My family's Virginia Tech fans. I was pissed to watch him leave. I wanted him in that draft, and we got him, and I was so happy for it. But the easy answer is Sonny, because in our pre-draft process, you brought up a good point. And I did the Jets cat, the guy that went to the Jets. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on him, but the Ohio State linebacker that went to the Jets.
Arvell Reese. You went to Giants.
In that one highlight I showed, Giants. I don't know why I said Jets. And that one highlight I showed you were like, look at Sonny over here, because Sonny was in the slot. They had moved him over there, and so I absolutely want to see how Sonny Styles is utilized. I was arguing with Road Chaser on Twitter, and he's not understanding what I mean by that. We can be in a 4-3-4, but make it look like a 5-2, because we move those linebackers close to the line of scrimmage, or have Sonny be that guy close to the line of scrimmage and then creep back as the slot guy, because that's how Ohio State used him. They used him on running backs. They said, look, you're going to take the running back. Caleb's got the tight end, and then we'll just play man from that and then have them beat us somehow. And Sonny did a fantastic job of running backs. He can operate in space. I'm very intrigued with how they're going to use him, because we have some very fast guys that can run at linebacker. And I think that is how. Let me ask you a question real quick before you go. What gives you more confidence going against an NFL offense, by having Odafe Owe, Dorrance Armstrong, and then 3 defensive linemen with only 2 linebackers, or having Dorrance Armstrong, Odafe Owe, and let's say Tim Settle and Deron Payne? What makes you feel better going against an NFL offense, given those 2 options?
It really depends, right? Because it depends on like the formation. It depends on the team.
Right.
Because I'm very confident in both. Like when we look at the different sub packages that we can run and the players that we have, when we think about athleticism, I'm very confident in most of them.
My point being is we all know that throwing the ball is prevalent in the NFL.
Most definitely.
And they will come out in a heavy set and they'll do play action on you. The Rams are notorious for this. They love to do it to you. They want to make you think that they're going run and then hit you with the. So like in my mind, I'm thinking of saying, well, we have 3 fast linebackers. All 3 can pass rush very well. We have a plethora of defensive linemen. I feel more confident, given that they know how to exploit in the passing game. I feel more confident with those 3 linebackers on the field at all times, because we can pass rush with them, we can cover with them, and they can run fit with them. And I feel a lot better than that than saying, Dorrance Armstrong, you go out to the flats and be able to cover a tight end leaking out. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what the difference is for me. And just in terms, like obviously if it's a heavy set, then yes, go with the 5 down. That makes more sense. But just in general terms of the NFL, of motioning and having a wide receiver line up in the backfield and motioning guys out to the slot, I feel much more confident with that 3 linebacker set because of what we have. And that starts with Sonny because of his athleticism, what we've seen thus far. That I said it on Twitter, that dude's highlight tape could be a movie with how long it could be. And it was that's legitimate, dude. And so I think that sky's the limit for him in particular. But this defense, we got the quarterback of the defense, man, and we're trending upwards.
Right. And you can have him because you have Leo Chanel. Right. Really. And that's the thing about when we talk about the green dot, right? Like, I don't mind him if he earn it, if he can rock with it, if he can do all these things with it, then fine, cool. Right. But I want him active.
Yeah.
Right. I want him active. And if the middle linebacker is just going to be sitting in the middle of the field, I don't want him doing that. Right. Like Leo Chanel can play that position at a very high level. We've seen him do, I think, the second Super Bowl run. We've seen him play and have Sonny, because like you said, you can have Sonny at the edge. You can have him flex. Like, you can do so much with him. And not only him, right? And I know Louisville is not great in pass coverage. I don't want him covering at all. Right. But you can spot do it every now and then to disguise something. Right. Like, even like Chason, you can disguise it every now and then. He's not like Von Miller. Right. Like, I'll break my TV every time I see him in coverage. Right. It makes absolutely no sense. I don't care what the play call is. You just need to know your personnel. Right. So you could go 3 linebackers, you go 1 linebacker, you could go 2. Like, you can do so many things with the front 7 that I'm very intrigued to see. Because even when we talk about competition and we talk about the linebackers, the pass rushers, I don't think it's about who's starting and who's not. I think it's about who's going to get the most snaps this upcoming week. Right. And something Toothpick said that I didn't really think about. You can go out there and miss your assignment if you want. Right. Because unlike years past, you could just say, yeah, what you going to do about it?
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to put anybody in there.
What you gonna do about it? Ain't nobody else you can put. But now, I got somebody else I can put in there. Go sit down for a couple series. Right. Like, that's something that too. I say, so that right there has me even more excited. The secondary, Nick Cross. I mean, I was just talking about Nick Cross. We know all of our safeties pretty much. They are just much better around the line of scrimmage, right? Nick Cross can play deep. He can do it. I know he can do it. Will Harris can do it. I've seen him do it. Even when you talk about Quan Martin, like, he has done it. It might not have been too good at it, but even people talk about Revo. They talk about the other cat, that everyone thinks he's going into his 3rd year undrafted, Tyler Owens, that he's supposed to be this, whatever.
I thought you were talking about Dog Tired's boy, Quan Martin.
Yeah. Well, I did say Quan. I tried to sneak it in, so he don't hear me. But so, like, when you think about this defense, we think about Minnesota, right? 2 safety look. They try to keep everything in front of you. Try to keep everything honest. They kind of disguise certain things. Are you okay with this the safeties now? I want to not the cornerback so much, but where are you with the safeties?
I think that, my personal opinion, I think the safeties are very well off. It's one of the best depth-filled units that you have on the entirety of the field. You can use Tyler Owens in the slot if need be. Think about it in a Nick Eamon-Worry kind of sense, where you're not having him do his back pedal so much. He's much more playing the line of scrimmage, that kind of zone scheme. But my confidence is more so built on what Durante Jones likes to do. They've already said this. They've already voiced it and saying it's about confusion. And that's what it takes to be a defense, is confusing the offensive line, and in particular, confusing to the center on who's rushing and who's not. If you have them guessing, if you have them thinking too much, you are already a step ahead as a defense. And then now we're finally going to get into the realm of where Dan Quinn was before in Dallas, where your corners are actually now playing with a positive in terms of just making plays on the football. They're not thinking too much. They're not having to play absolute perfect coverage because their quarterback's sitting back, diagnosing, and then pinpointing that football. It's about hurried throws, bad throws, good opportunities for your defense. I think the secondary, in particular, the safeties, are in a very good spot to come up and make plays on the football. Nick Cross, one of the best in the league last season, at coming up and making plays on the run. We already know about what Jeremy Reeves can do. He can catch the football when it is thrown to him, and I'll always root for that young man. And bring Will Harris, we saw what he did with the Saints, and coming in last season, he was good against the run as well. And so I think first and foremost, we got to be able to come up and make plays in the run game. And I think these safeties are very capable of that. But I also think that they're going to be able to feast on some hurried throws and be able to catch some footballs if the confusion works. And me being a defensive minded person personally, just in every sense of the word, I love this was the perfect hire for us. To be honest, I didn't think Brian Flores was leaving Minnesota. I didn't even know who Durante Jones was. If I did, I would have been all over it, because that's exactly, if I was going to be a defensive coordinator, this is what I would be implementing.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's like close to 50, right? So like it's about time, right? You know what I'm saying, that he's finally getting this opportunity. And it's crazy that he had to wait this long, but at the same time, like, he's had experience, right? And I'm sure that Flores has trained him up to get him ready for this opportunity. But getting ready for this opportunity and doing running the HBCU defense is that 24-second clock, and being behind Flores for 24-second clock is way different than actually controlling the 24-second clock. And that's something that I'm hoping that we're going to see, especially in the preseason. But we're going to talk more about that. Cal, appreciate you, man, for coming through, man, for sure. As always, most of the people that, I have some new 49er fans. Like, I have new 49er supporters that I have over the last few weeks. They've been in the chat.
I don't know how you do it, dude.
They subscribe. So listen, man. Like, they help pay for my blue check. Man. Look, they help pay for my blue check with my impressions. I love my 49er fans, and you can see they all in the comments. They've been here rocking with me, so they might want to follow you too. So let everybody know how they can.
He said, "All I see on the Commanders a bunch of stiffs." I would say stop hanging out with Stephon Diggs, my man. Stop hanging out with him. But you guys can find me at the Burgundy Zone on Twitter. Search the Burgundy Zone on YouTube, Instagram.
Yes, he was DC at LSU. Yes.
Yes, he was. Facebook, all of the sort. There's anything I could pray for you guys about, please reach out on DM or anything. I would love to be able to pray for you, of course. And Deuce, it's always a pleasure, man. You're a lot like Hall in the sense that nobody can make fun of you just because you're such an awesome person, and you smile, you have a good laugh, and I really appreciate you getting all these guys together and ladies to do this. I don't know how you're still sitting. It looks like you're still sweating a little bit. It looks like you're
that's my camera. It's like I'm glowing my melanin. Like, again, that's not the black thing, Kyle. Don't worry about
it. Oh, I know. Nah. But you guys can search on YouTube or anything, podcast platforms, anything you want. We're out of this. All right,
man. Appreciate you coming in, man. Appreciate you, Kyle.
Appreciate you guys. Be good.
All right, man. Peace. All right. My man George is in the building. George, hey, Dog Top, why are you on X? Like, why are you not giving me some impressions and some likes on YouTube?
I didn't even think about that, dude. My bad, dude. I should have done that for you. My bad, dude. I got you, man. I retweet this.
No, I'm talking about Dog Top. Like, he in here on X.
Oh,
like, I didn't even realize that. Dog Top, no. But now, George, what is good?
It's good, my man.
It's been a long time, man, since we chopped it up. And then there's been like so much going on, man. It's been so much. There's been so much going on. But let's get right into it, man. Like, the hot topic, right? I've never seen Ashburn syndrome this bad in a person ever that Brandon Ayuk has.
Mm-hmm. Where are you at with that, dude? I haven't seen you off and on. Should I go first? Okay, you want to talk about it?
No, this is where I'm going to say where I am, right? And most of the people kind of know it. Like, and it was always about the troll for me and laughing at what he's doing and just laughing at 40 and 49er tank, like getting into it with them on the timeline, just like that was the fun part about it. Like, that was the fun part about it. Yeah. But for me, when it came to, of course, you want a time, because you think about the idea of Brandon Ayuk, you think about 2023, right? 26 years old, young guy. We finally can get a young, proven athletic wide receiver, maybe can be here as Terry kind of fades out over time, right? And the idea of that, right, is, and then to be able to get it for nothing, right?
Yeah.
That whole idea, right? And then June 1st happened. Right, June 1st happened.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, everything changed. Like, his whole everything changed, right? And now we're all the way down to like where we are now, with Jayden got involved on social media. Yeah. Now, if it's a troll or not, it doesn't matter, right?
I agree with that.
Your friends know what buttons to push.
Yeah.
Right. Let's just your moment jokes, whatever jokes. We know what buttons. We know what buttons to push. Jayden is probably not responding to like 98% of anybody else who have done that.
Yeah.
Right. But because they are really brothers, right? He can get them out of character a little bit, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And when that happened, I'm sure like Miss Regina and Doug Williams, everybody, hey, look, we're not doing this.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's not what you and that's and I'm gonna just think about. We think about Miss Regina all the time, but Doug Williams is very pivotal in Jayden's day-to-day type stuff, right? Like he's been there, right? And because I was talking to somebody about that a couple years ago about how involved and how a mentor that he has been to Jayden, right? So you get that call, even DJ, hey, man. My dad said you gotta stop that, bro. Like that's you know what I'm saying? Because like your mother always got your one friend that she don't want you around.
Absolutely. I think you're on the right path.
That right, like that might be Ayuk. And right, and to finish this thought off, this is where like I am with Ayuk. Ayuk is my man's man.
Exactly. Okay.
Right? Yeah. And because he's my man's man, that's my man. So when we go out, that's my man's. But if my man say, listen, like he did some petty stuff, I ain't rocking with him no more. I ain't rocking with him.
Exactly right.
I was only 100%. His man's because that. So when we get to this point when Jayden like, I'm like, Ayuk, look, listen.
He checked out. For me, that was checking out. I'm done with this.
I'm done. Right. But at the same time, like it's not. It's still a pro player. It's still a pro player thing. When I'm like, listen, I might not want him on my squad no more, but 49, you still need to stop being petty. Both of y'all need to stop being petty because I want him to be able to get his money. I want him to be able to play in the league again. Like I want this thing to be over because it's probably really affecting him, right? And I'm no doctor, right? Like I don't know if mental, I don't know what that is, but what I know is when you do something for so long and you have tasted what it is to be one of the best at that, and to not be able to do it when you can, no injuries or nothing like that is holding you back, it has to take a toll on. But that's where I am in a nutshell.
No, I'm right there with you. I think you nailed it. I think going into this whole situation, Brandon Ayuk was appealing because he was cost effective. We could potentially get him at a cheaper rate, right? We could get him at bottom of the barrel bucket, veteran minimum prices in order to get him with the potential for a long term. Like he's only 28 years old, turning 29. You can get 3 or 4 years out of him. If it's a hit, it's a low risk, medium, high reward type of option, right? You get him, he could be a true wide receiver 2, maybe become wide receiver 1 over time. There's a lot of ifs that go along with it. Like if this works out, but there was potential there. And that's why he's intriguing. I think for our fan base, people liked him because he was pretty cheap and because he was showing interest in us. He wanted to come here. That's desirable for us, right? Like, hey, we had someone that wants to be here. He knows the quarterback. It's a lot of positives going along with it. I think there are, guys, you're right. I agree. I think that both sides are wrong in the situation. The 49ers are definitely petty, right? The 49ers petty, like they have anger. I mean, they have the right to be angry. They have the right to be upset with Ayuk and put him on the non-reserve, list and non-reporting list and kind of be tough on him. I see that, right? They don't want to pay him. They don't want to trigger those dead money cap ramifications and all that stuff. I just don't see what the end game to this, right? With I think what's happened is I liked, just like you, the whole troll component to kind of putting out there. It was funny at first, right? But I think it's become repetitive and it's kind of beating the horse over a while. And you're right. I think Miss Jackson, what I like about her, she protects her son, right? She wants her son to be successful. She wants her son to be strong. We always joke about it, but she doesn't want fast women around Jayden. She wants him to be head on, head forward, trying to be successful and all that, right? I can see her being Brendan's your boy. You love him. He's your brother. But sometimes you have to kind of let your brother kind of step to the side a little bit. And if your eyes are on the prize, where you're going to go to the Super Bowl, you want to be one of the greatest of all time, you don't need distractions on the end. So I think that's kind of where we're at right now. That thumbs down Deuce, I think he's and Brendan even talked about it. Brendan was like, I tried to message him, I tried to tag him. He's like, call me offline. I don't want to deal with this stuff because Jayden's a low key kind of guy. We have friends like that, Deuce. Some people that are kind of low key, they're quiet. They don't want all that drama. I was talking to Trail in our chat earlier today, and I was talking to him. And it was imagine sometimes you go to a bar, you have that cool, chill friend. It's kind of laid back. It's trying to approach the girl by spite, being chill and laid back. You get that loud ass friend who's yelling and he's being stupid. That's Ayuk right now. It's he's still your boy, but he's acting like a damn fool. He's ruining everything right now. But that's what he's doing. That's the dynamic that I see. I think there's still love there, but I think Jayden is smart enough and mature enough, and he's dedicated enough where he's like, dude, maybe this isn't the right decision for him. Maybe if it plays out, it plays up. I'm gonna walk away from it. And I honestly think that it's probably dead, Deuce. I think it's over. I think I think before I think Daniels was trying advocating for Ayuk, trying to push for it, and Peter's like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Like, it's intriguing, but I think it's starting to kind of sour everyone's mouth. And even Daniels is like, you know what, like it's okay now. I can potentially handle it, but it might not be something that's worth handling because the way you look at it, it's Ayuk versus the field, right? Like Ayuk's a good player to add, but there's hundreds of people to add, right? You can get any free agent. You can get, Brian Thomas Jr. could potentially be available. Malik Neighbors in the future. You could draft someone next year. There's other vets that are available. Is it really? You don't have to play with all your friends all the time. That's kind of where I'm at with it. So last thing I'll say is I hope that if Ayuk turns it around, straightens up, he wants to play, he's dedicated, awesome. I'll welcome him to the team. But that's only one of the potential outcomes right now. The other outcomes could be he could be immature. He could be toxic when he comes to the team. He could, he might not be dedicated. There are other outcomes, and I want everyone to kind of weigh that, right? Everyone's kind of hard in their camp, like I hate Ayuk or I love Ayuk, and there's different ways of looking at him.
And I love the 49ers fan. So I think whatever happens with Ayuk is going to be with Jayden's approval, right? Like it's not going to if Peter is like, this is what you want, low risk, high reward type thing, right? It's going to be cheap, whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like he's a charity case that's trying to find his way back in the league or anything like that, right? He's out there with Terry, right? Like he's out there with Diami, like he's out there, and I'm sure they having these conversations, like, bro, you sure this what you want? You sure? Having all of those conversations when they're out there, and I'm sure Terry's thought process and Terry's word weighs heavily on this type of situation with Jayden. Because Terry's not gonna be the person that scours against it, right? If they do bring him in, Terry's gonna do whatever he can to take him under his wing to show him how to play, how to do the. But again, we haven't seen Ayuk like this when he's not having the contract issues, right?
That's true.
It's only when he has a contract issue. So that's definitely something.
There's definitely a gray area there. We don't really know how to resolve this. That's the problem. We're getting 1 minute clips like every other day or so, and we can't make a full judgment on that. So we got to be open minded with that. But you're right. I think Terry's dedicated. Terry's a good soldier, man. We gotta give Terry props, right? He'll accept Ayuk on the team and he'll bring him in like a brother and coach him up and be right there because that's what he does. But deep down inside, I can see Terry. They don't seem like the same type of people, right? It's maybe a work ethic and skill level, but they seem like different people. Maybe Terry McLaurin might not be into that. And I don't know if this is even important, but we see this at one picture today by Nicky Javala had all those guys out there and they're playing together and they're united, right? Those people are grinding. Like Ayuk will inevitably replace one of those guys, right? And is that a good message to send to the team? Like, I'm with you. We talked about it before, Deuce, where it's like the culture is so damn good. It's okay to bring in one bad apple because you can absorb that. But at the same time, people are grinding. Like, what kind of message are you sharing? Like, hey, this person's grinding with Daniels all the time. Now we're just going to just throw them to the sides for this chance of Ayuk being good. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, because that's the thing though, right? Like if you do bring him in, he's going to have to work from the ground up. Right, all that stuff about him saying I'm still gonna be on social media and all that. Listen, the first time you post, you out of here. It's just that simple. Right. But we'll see how that looks. All right. So ESPN, I don't think we have no top 10 players nowhere on these ESPN rankings that's coming up. But the one thing I was kind of interested in the last couple of days is the offensive line I wanted to talk to you about, because you talked with what's the guy Brandon Thorn. Yeah. And so I think it was like 26 where I read for our O-line. And I can see the thought process if we look at each individual player and what they were last year, right? And the situation itself. But how do you look at our offensive line compared to what the national pundits look at?
I love our offensive line, dude. I think it's one of our best positions, to be honest with you. Like, it's very rare to bring back 4 of your 5 starters, and then on top of that, the depth that goes along with it. Like, I think we were like 7 or 8 deep. We're returning like almost 8 of our offensive linemen from last year, and that's that's irreplaceable. That's immeasurable. That's fantastic, right? I think people like the national pundits don't deep dive into the players like we do. Like, they know things on a surface level, but like they're overlooking a lot of players, man. Laramie Tunsil is one of the best in the league. I think Laramie Tunsil is a stud. I'm glad we have him, right? Sam Cosby, he was coming off an injury, coming off a late torn ACL in that Detroit Lions game. He came back. He wasn't himself last year. So if you're grading PFF, if you're writing a quick article, like, hey, I got an article due in a week, looking at PFF grades, you're not going to have that context for Sam Cosby. He can be a Pro Bowl. He was a Pro Bowl at one point, right guard? Yeah. So he's pretty legit. I think he could be, especially in this type of like movement, zone read, zone run type of offense. I think he's going to be very, very good. I've always been a Connolly guy. They're probably knocking him like, hey, he started off slow, he's young. I think Connolly is like very athletic, and I think if he continues to work with Tunzel, he could be a weapon on the offensive line because I think it can use him in like the screen game and almost how we use young Trent Williams. That you get him out in front, you do a little toss, and he's the one out there kind of running as long as he continues to bulk up. Right. Chris Paul, he gets like there's the game tape and there's the analytics, as you kind of know, right? Chris Paul, I think, is a pretty solid offensive lineman, but he might not look great on analytics and on the data and all that.
Especially the run blocking.
Yeah, he's a very phone booth type of I can block, I'm strong, I can pin you if you come blitz me type of like offensive lineman. He's solid, but we have Brennan Coleman potentially as an athletic replacement competition in camp. And then Allegretti, I think that's where like kind of the that's where we get that ding. Like he's not a household name. He's smart, he's cerebral. He's going to be fine. He's not going to make mistakes for you. But I think it's going to be the sum is greater than its parts, and I think the parts are pretty damn good. Like I think Tunzel could be like it all depends on win loss, right? If we're like a 10-win team, 9-win team, we're going to have one or two Pro Bowlers on there. Tunzel will probably be one, maybe Cosby, maybe even Connolly. So I'm confident in the offensive line. I think for all the criticism of the skill players, like we wish we had more wide receivers. We are building a defense. We are building an offensive line. And those are two or the three things you want for a quarterback. So it's good.
Yeah, and I think we're pretty solid. But again, like we have to take it with a grain of salt outside looking in, because like if you look at it from both sides, like you can see the points that they were making about the offensive line. But when you have someone like Tom, I think the main thing is the center position, right? Like if I think the center position really flushes the grade, right? And Allegretti is exactly what it is Allegretti, right? Like even though like he say, this is my natural position, this is what I always want. Like all of that good stuff is good, but the fact of the matter is you just wasn't. Right? You know what I mean? Like you didn't like it, and it looks like he fell into a starting spot because this whole thing with Biotish just really like all this is kind of, especially then they try to pay crazy money or was up there with Linderbaum. So that tells you that, hey, Allegretti, you just happen to fall into this spot, right? So I'm very interested in seeing how they go about with Gublin coming up in training camp and these joint practices.
That's true.
To see how because I think he still needs time, but at the same time, how much more time does he need from Allegretti is the question. Right?
Yeah, how much room does he have to make up between the two?
Yeah,
on that.
Exactly.
I got you.
That's going to be very interesting. But just going into the preseason, I was always, hey man, get the starters in, get them out. I totally flip. These dudes need to play because we have so many different, we got this competition here, here, and to really flush out these competitions, you need Jayden throwing the ball to Van Jefferson.
Yeah,
right? You need Jayden throwing the ball to like you need him throwing it to these guys. You need him throwing it to center. Like you can't just have them out there with the
new offensive system too.
Exactly, because that's not giving those other guys. This is why I'm glad that we drafted the quarterback what's his name?
I
was calling him something else. Who's my nickname?
It's Calcamanis. It's a hard
Manis. I think I was just calling him Manis. Yep. Man, because like Sam out that joint throwing ducks. Like how can I see what this
it was bad,
fifth receiver really is when the quarterback always throwing ducks?
Terrible.
Right? So I'm glad they have Manners. That's a much better a football player and a much better quarterback. Not saying I'm just saying that can give us a better look. But how are you looking at preseason?
I'm looking forward to it. I feel the same way, dude. So I think we definitely, with a new offensive system and with a new defensive system, we definitely should be playing our starters, at least for the first quarter. So, maybe in the second quarter. The one nice thing that I do like is the fact that we are having those joint practices, which are fantastic. I think we all talk about it. We know this. We've been working together for years and covering for years. Those joint practices are more important than anything else, right? They're probably even more important than the actual preseason games, right? Because there's actually like as everyone knows that's watching, I'm sure you guys are educated too. It's like they have like timed, like skilled, they set up scenarios to test and kind of stress test the defense of 2-minute drill, red zone defenses and things of that nature. And it's very, very important for them to roll those things out. So I think that's important to do. And I'm glad we're doing that. Preseason game, the only thing I'm concerned about, and maybe I shouldn't be, but I just want to protect Daniels is the most important thing. He's the key component. Maybe Tunzel, he's a G. You don't have to worry about him. Just get him out there. Right. But then again, he goes hand in hand with Daniels. You want to make sure he's out there to protect Daniels. But I agree. I think it's going to be very important. If they are shining in, it's all about the progression. If they're shining in the joint practices, maybe they don't have to necessarily practice as much for the preseason game. But I think it's important to get out there. Like I feel like practice always makes perfect, as we talked about, and it's good to get out there.
Yeah, because like we can talk about the running backs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a competition for RB1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I need to see those guys playing on the same type of stress level, right? Like I need to see Ja'Cory out there in the second quarter. Need to see him in the first. The same with White. Like I need to see if you're telling me that this is a battle, this is a position battle, and with any other position, I need to see these guys out there in different scenarios, which equals up the same scenario. So at the end of week preseason game, week 3, when I'm looking at these cut downs, I can say that these guys had the
similar
same,
reps,
similar
apples. Yeah,
exactly. To be able to really make the, and even doing, I think the joint, just like you said, we talked about that so many times in the past about the joint practices, because you could take the best wide receiver, what is going, like against I don't know who Miami got. Like, sheesh, right. But in that situation, right? I mean, they do have the head coach was the D coordinator for with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, but like you can take, Othello or the safety, the kid from HBCU from last year, I forgot what his name was. You can take those guys and you can play them against starters.
Yeah,
like you give them reps against starters, right?
Yeah,
you can give a edge rusher, like a cornerback. Your cornerback 1 could get reps against wide receiver 5, like different scenarios like that, live scenarios that you can see, which I think is the benefit, which I think is a little more benefit, because you're just not gonna get that in preseason games, right?
We got better coaches too now, dude. So on top of that, sorry to interrupt you, but I agree. I think we have better coaches now. Like I think Durante Jones, I think he's gonna instill a great mentality. I heard you and Kyle talk about it, like just shortening that like play clock and hurting up the offense. I think that's very strong to do. I forgot his name. I was going to write it down. I should know his name. The defensive line coach. I'm actually super pumped about him for the Rams. And
Coach
what's his name? Yeah, he's gonna be sick. Coach Henry. Yeah, he's gonna be nasty, dude. I think he's gonna be fantastic, and I think he has a good group to work with. Like our defensive line, I love the fact that Tim Settle came back. I know he's a little bit older, he's a little bit banged up, but I think once he comes back, he's gonna be a great part of the rotation. Johnny Newton, Kinlaw. I'm actually a big fan of Chase. I think he's gonna be a pretty solid player too. So so we're looking all right.
What's your thought process on the safeties? And I say this because when you think about the safeties, I really believe that they're all the best of themselves is all around the line of scrimmage. Like even Nick, right? I think the best of themselves, but I think they can do both. But the thing with Nick Cross is I want him to be able to be loose, fluid, right? And not have to be, I got to protect this goal line and be back here. Like I really want him to be able to play how he wants to play, but I just don't know like if Will Harris can be that type of person you can depend on to keep everything in front of him. Can you depend on Quan Martin to keep everything in front of him? Like, is we going to be able to see what Nick Cross really can be in this defense, or is he going to have to be like the protector of the defense?
I think Nick Cross is going to be the Swiss Army knife of the defense, and I think he was a calculated choice by Durante Jones. Like Durante Jones, if you guys remember, he was the Vikings. He was part of Brian Flores' scheme, part of that whole think tank, but he was the secondary coach. He was the secondary coach for the Vikings, and he had a great relationship with Harrison Smith. Like one thing, I'm sure you guys talked about it, and I love this, and I hope they bring it over to Washington, is Brian Flores and Durante Jones. They're like famous for this. It's called like a think tank. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this before. But what they would do is like on Mondays, and like during on those down days, they would bring the safety and they'd bring the quarterback and they would bring them all in together. And they're like, here's a half an hour. Let's brainstorm the craziest shit you could do in the secondary, the most crazy, wild, hybrid type of like coverages you can do. And let's try to put them together and try to devise things that the league has never seen, right? And like Harrison Smith was the leader of all that, the safety in the backfield, right? And they put that together. Like, so like the way it worked was with Brian Flores was kind of like he had the disguise for the front 7 and Durante Jones was the back 7. So I think Durante Jones is going to bring that like that coverage, like, that I'm trying to think, disguise to kind of confuse the quarterback. And I think Nick Cross is going to be that chess piece that's going to move around. I think Will Harris is going to be a high floor kind of guy. Like he's going to be that veteran where like we're going to get mad at him sometimes because he's going to mess up. He's going to get smoked by like a fast young wide receiver. But at the same time, he's going to be like a solid, like, he's all right. Like kind of holds it down. And I think that Quan Martin, I know he's very, very polarizing. I'm starting to lose faith in him. But if you look at his pedigree, he actually has a great RAS score. He's a great athletic profile. And he was an awesome free safety and a nickel cornerback for Illinois, which was the #1 ranked defense at the time when he got drafted. So I think he has potential. And you never know. Like, one thing someone said, and I thought it was a great point, is when you get these players and you see like fall off and you see like them not playing well, it doesn't necessarily mean they're bad players. It could be a poor fit to the scheme, right? So maybe Durante Jones unlocks one of these players, maybe he unlocks Nick Cross. Maybe he finds something in Quan Martin. It's going to be a wait and see approach. I think that's going to be like, I've been talking about this all off season. I'm more intrigued about the defense. I think that like the offense, we have Jayden, he's going to cook, and I think he's going to carry it. And I love seeing him under center. But I think the defense is going to be so much fun. Like Leo Chanel, Sonny Styles, Amik Robinson. I love the Rasul Douglas edition. Nick Cross, Chase on, Adafe Owe. We haven't even talked about the defensive line. I think there's going to be a lot of creativity. The only thing that I'm hoping for, worry about, I guess, slight worry, is how fast they can pick it up, because communication is going to be very, very important, right? Like we've seen them, dude. We've been watching their whole lives, dude. It's like how many times we've seen these blown coverages where there's 20 yards on the field and all that kind of stuff. But if he can simplify it and have them play fast, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm concerned about, is that, and then like I don't even know if he has time, right? Like we have to come out and we have to come out fast.
Yeah, that's some good teams.
Because if we come out flat and get punched in the face the first couple of weeks against division rivals, it might get ugly, right? That Monday morning after Dallas, right? With Quinn and Hatsy and all that other stuff, right? It might get ugly, might get real tense. Then you got these rookie play callers, these rookie coordinators. Like, how are they going to be able to adjust to that? Like, how is Dan Quinn going to like protect them like from all of the noise? That's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. But overall, like when it comes to this roster, right? Like, is this the roster that you're comfortable with going into camp with, or do you want to make some moves? And if so, where?
I think it's a competitive roster. I think it's going to be pretty solid. I think it's all going to come back to if Jayden Daniels can bounce back. I think he's the elevator and he can raise a team. I think the Rasul Douglas addition is a very strong addition. Like the two biggest areas of concern for me were wide receiver and cornerback. And I think Rasul Douglas is going to add some depth. I think he's going to play a lot, man. I think he might come in like he's trying to catch up in the playbook, but he'll be in there and he'll do a solid job. And he actually creates turnovers. If you guys look at the stats, he averaged like 4 or 5 interceptions over the past couple of years. I think he had 4 interceptions last year, and he wasn't even expected to start. I think the primary cornerback got hurt. He came in after week 1 and started the rest of the year because he was a pretty damn good cornerback last year. So I think the cornerbacks got elevated. The defense is going to look solid. My only concern is wide receiver, and that goes back to that whole Ayuk, Stephon Diggs, wide receiver X argument. What are we going to do about that? My intuition, dude, is like I would love to add a veteran wide receiver, but I think we have a scout, man. Our GM, Adam Peters, our architect of this team, is a true scout. And I think he might be like, yo, Ayuk's a little bit of a headache. Diggs, he's getting all these cases that are out there. I trust my gut. I think Luke's going to get better. I think Jalen Lane's going to step up. I think Antonio Williams will be all right. And I think he's comfortable. I think he's more comfortable with the wide receiver room than what we think. And on top of that, if you look at David Blau's pedigree, like where he came from, like the whole Vikings offense, that Lions offense, it has a little trifecta, right? It's wide receiver 1, tight end, and running back. It's Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's Terry Okonkwo and Rashad White, in my opinion. Here, they're going to be filtering the offense through there. And I think what's going to happen is Jayden's going to be Jayden. He's going to be legit. I think we're going to get, I think Terry's going to get a lot of targets. Same thing with Rashad and Okonkwo. And those other guys are just going to be like, whatever, like as a committee, it's going to be like 30 catches for Diamond, 30 catches for Treylon Burks, 30 catches for Luke, Jalen in certain packages. And that might be enough to get by. But that could be, it's a playoff team. But if we want to be like a championship caliber team, I think another wide receiver would help a lot. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I agree, right? It's the same thing with the cornerback room, right? Like we hear folks say, well, they're higher on the rooms than we are. Until 3 days ago, right? When they brought in another cornerback, right? Like we don't know. And they're not going to come out there and say, well, man, we need to add some more firepower to the wide receiver. Like that's just not what they are going to do. But we just basing this off of recent production. And we base this off of recent production. The only one in that room is Terry. That's just facts, right? It's facts versus what ifs, right? Like
exactly
facts versus what ifs, facts versus hopeism. There you go, the thumb, right? Hopeism, like that. That's what this is, right? But we're being honest about this roster. But again, I have 5 fever. I say that all the time. Jayden can't do no wrong, right? There's no medicine, no cure for my 5 fever. And I know he can make these guys better, but he can't take these guys from the first floor to the 9th floor. That is just not possible, right?
Yeah.
So it really is going to depend on how much is enough. Like how much is he going to have to do? How much is he's going to have to overexert himself to try to make somebody else better, which is preventing him or slowing him up from actually getting to his ceiling because he's trying to revive other people's careers. But yeah, man, we appreciate George as always. You coming through, man. We gotta do this a little more often. We gotta do it. Are you coming to camp at all this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna go. I don't have the dates in front of me. I think the second week of August is when I come by, like 4th or 5th or something like that. So we gotta link up there. And I agree, dude. It's been a long time. Sure. You gotta come on our show sometime soon. Like we're doing things Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So whenever you can do that, and I don't know if you want me to plug that now, we can do that too. But yeah, definitely come on. Be awesome. I think we have Linnell coming on tomorrow at 2 p.m. That'll be fun. Linnell was popping off. That'll be good.
For sure. Yeah, for sure, man. Like most of the people, Commanders fans know George and the Big Carmi with Big Doug, the OG. But I got some new 49er fans, so like, maybe they want to follow you. Let them know how they all can get your content.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it, man. Much love always, man. I've known you for years. It's a great connection.
Sure.
Good talk, man. Also, for sure. So I'm George Carmi. My Twitter handle is at gcarmi21. Huge Commander fan, huge DC sports fan. If you want to talk about anything, I'm going to watch the Bansa Peterson Summer League game at 9 o'clock. I'm pumped for that. Yeah. But I host a podcast, Big Doug and Carmi Show, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We typically have guests, throughout the year, either national, local, other content creators. We do that. I also write for Commanders Roundtable. It's like a new up and coming website that we have. It's a bunch of it's actually University of Maryland writers, a bunch of journalism guys that put it together, and they asked me to join. So I'm doing that too. So got some articles right in there. So give me a check out there.
For sure. Appreciate you, George, man. We definitely gonna link up.
All right, cool, brother. Take care, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Peace. All right, what we got? All right, Red. It is an honor
to finally my guy?
Meet you. The work you all have been doing has been sensational. You have taken the new media that Draymond talks about all the time to a whole different level. Like, you're the meaning of that from what you all are doing, bro. And I salute you. But I do have one request.
What's up?
I need you to get Coach Henne.
Oh man, yo, we're working on that,
bro. Like that's what, like, bro. If you do that, I think I'm going to go watch that while I'm in the gym because I think he's going to get. I think it's going to have me pumped, right? I think I'm going to lift weights as I watch that show with Coach Henne, man. But like that's the dude. Like, I love listening to him talk. I love like. They didn't do a lot of it for OTAs and minicamp, like be over there, because usually the defense is always on the other side, right? So as fans, you don't really see it and you don't really hear a lot because they're on the faraway field. But that I just want to hear him coach. I want to hear him coach him up, man. I want to hear him coach him up. But absolutely, man, Red, man, beautiful job that y'all doing, man.
Thank you, brother.
Man, for real, for sure.
Man,
I'm glad we can chop it up, man.
That means everything coming from you, bro, because we love watching your content. I love everything you do, especially during the season when you be outside Pepsi and stuff. Man, the command, man. I love it. Me and Kenny share that in all our group chats all the time. So that means the world hearing that from you. And we're definitely going to try to get Coach Henne on there. For anybody who is watching, spam his page. Tell him he needs to talk to OTF, man. Like, we need that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Definitely. So let's get right into the RB1 thing, because I think we've been kind of talking about this for the last couple of days, kind of on and off, right? But I really like Bill, right? And I think coming into last year, and I kind of took this lightly, right? Because I end up finding out, even when his last year at Mexico, when he wasn't playing, he was the scout team running back that full year. So it wasn't like he was just sitting down, not doing anything. Like, he was getting bumped that whole year. But again, it's still practice. Even the Senior Bowl is still practice, right? The NFL is different, bro. Because he was hurt through training camp all the way through the season. Like, every week he was on he was on the injury report, but you could tell he bulked up, right? You could tell he put some weight on. He kind of strength. But why are you hands down Bill RB1?
Man, I just feel like last year his growth was stunted by Cliff putting him off the field. Like with the limited touches he got, he still was able to produce 800 yards. And that's amazing. I know the fumbling was a thing, but I don't really see that as a fumbling problem that he has. I just think it was just a mishap, couple miscues on there, things that could be worked on. It's not like an Antonio Gibson type situation that we had in the past, as much as I loved Antonio Gibson's game.
Yeah.
But I really think that beyond just Bill putting in the work, this offensive scheme is going to be an amazing thing for all the running backs in this. And I think Bill is going to benefit the most because out of all of our running backs, he's the one that has the most ability to cut outside, cut inside, and do all of those different things. And I think his speed is sneaky underrated and his quickness as well, too. So I think he's going to get a chance to really show off some of those skills. And he even has some hands. We just didn't ask him to do any of that last year.
And that's the thing that's the negative on him when these conversations are had about Bill, like pass catching, pass protection. It's going to matter even more now because Jayden is going to have his back turned more than he ever has in his career, right? So pass protection is going to matter even more this year, right? So that's something that we need to see. But hands down, he's the most explosive player that we have, right? He's the most athletic player that we have. He's the home run hitter everyone like screamed about for the last 3-4 years. Like he is that guy, right? The thing with White is that we've seen him be the 3-down back. We've seen him do it all. We've seen him carry a team as far as being the number one rusher, the pass protection, the pass catching out the back. All of those things are already there. With Bill, we have to see it, right? And is that putting Bill like is he behind the 8 ball? Is he beside the 8? Like where do you think he is in this running back competition? Or do you even think it is a running back competition?
I think it's Bill's job to lose. I really do. I think it's Bill's job to lose on this one. They believe in him. I pay attention to what the coordinators say when they're talking to the media. And he was one of those guys whose name came out of Blau's mouth, right? Like there's not that many guys that they mention. Even Durante, he was very specific on which guys he was mentioning. And I feel like whenever they do that, they're giving us a little bit of a glimpse on the vision they see for him. But I do also think White is going to push him. Matter of fact, this entire running back room is going to be something that pushes all of these guys from the UDFA to Fat Man, everybody. But I really think White is going to push him. But it is Bill's job to lose. And that's honestly why I feel like they were holding him out in a lot of that mini camp and stuff. They're just like, you know what? We already see what you're doing, bro. Like we already know what time it is with you. Let's just try to keep you fresh. Like G said, he about to hit a Pro Bowl level this year. I really do believe with this offensive line being fortified, we're going to have more of a zone running scheme. He might damn near have an Alfred Morris type season, man. Like it really go crazy on there. But I do think White is going to be essential to that because now whether it's Bill or White on the field, defenses aren't really going to be able to key in on anything because White can do all of the same things that Bill can do, but we know he's a proven pass catcher, right? He's going to be that guy that you got to respect. I said it earlier. He's going to be like Chris Thompson on Nitro because I think that he may not be as fast.
Shout out to
WCW.
Shout out to WCW.
Yeah. He may not be as fast as Chris Thompson was, but his pass catching ability and route running is something that's it's bar none a lot of guys. So it's going to make it really open up things for our offense. And I think we're going to see a lot more 2 running back sets going on there. So yeah, it's Bill's job to lose, man. I don't think he's behind the 8 ball at all. I do think the pass protection thing is a question. That's going to be the thing that could make him fumble it. But you said it, he got bigger. He knows how to do it. The technique, it's just getting ready to do it on a consistent basis on the NFL level.
Yeah. And I'm sure he worked on it, right? Like I'm sure that's something that he worked on. I'm sure that was the direction that he was given to work on to get bigger, take care of your body a little bit more. And the thing about like Bill is just not no scat back, right? Like he's run in between the tackles. Like we've seen that. We've seen him bounce off blocks. Like we've seen him do all of those things. And he, like you say, 800 yards, right? I mean, my man Dogs is a stat man. 800 on 175 carries, right? The last running back pick in the draft end up being top 3 out of those, right? And shoot, halfway through the year, he's probably was number 1 until the kid Junkins came on the scene and just started balling out. So like, and that's the thing with Beal, right? Like, I think he can come in and he can do it. Him doing it is going to make this team so much better, right? Because now you have someone that you know is going to be with Jayden at least for the next few years, right? So that's a plus, right? If he can step in and he can be that guy. And you have Ford, you have White, you have McNuggets, like you have these guys that's been there, right? That's able to be there. I mean, and you have Anthony Lynn, right? So like, get him right. Like, this is what you're here for. Get him right. No excuses. Get him right. Right. All right. Let's go. Let's talk O-line. Like, I didn't talk O-line too much the last couple of days because I wanted to wait for Reb to talk O-line because he knows the thoughts and the processes of the O-lineman. So you see ESPN rankings, right? Which I think was just crazy to me. But I do understand. Right. I do understand the thought process, but I totally disagree. Right. Who is the weak link on this presumed starting offensive line?
Ooh, good question. Honestly, it's gonna be our boy. What's his name? Allegretti. My Italian guy, man. Like it's gonna be Nick. And when I say he's the weak link, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but out of all the guys, like we saw Chris Paul do it at a high level last year. We know Brandon Coleman has the ability to do it if he can stay healthy. So whether it's Chris Paul or Coleman starting at left guard, we know that position is going to be good just as long as there's health there. You don't even have to talk about LT. Like we know who LT is. Top 2 left tackles in the league. Only person I'd argue better than him is Trent Williams. Right. That's it. We know Sam Cosmi last year was serviceable, and that was him coming off of an injury. Imagine this year now he has a full offseason under him, and we already know our boy Juice Connerly. We already know that boy. He's just keep getting better day by day, man, and he's really starting to grow in his body. So I really think Allegretti is going to be the weak link in here, and that's okay because when you're strong in the other 4 positions, your center doesn't have to hold much up, man. Like your center doesn't have to do everything, especially since we're changing our scheme. He doesn't need to be in the phone booth blocking with everybody and doing all these different things like that. He just needs to hold up for a little bit, get a couple reach blocks here and there, and keep those zones open. So I really think Allegretti is the weak link, but I'm not even saying it in a bad way, man. It's like being the worst. It's like being the worst person on the Olympic basketball team, bro. It's like you're still there. They didn't just invite everybody to come out there. So you're the worst of the best. Like, come on.
Yeah, for sure. And you fell into that position. You're not supposed to be there, right?
Correct.
We got outbidded for a center, right? Like that's the facts, right? And you just kind of fell in that role. But having the center as the weak link, like I don't like it, right? Like I don't like it. And especially going under center, right? I think that's going to help him more, right? Keep him low. He's already low. He's down. You got Cosmi, who's very smart. Chris Paul is stout. You know, he's strong. He ain't gonna let nobody just push him back. So, but it's something that kind of put into the back of my mind is like, how are we going to be able to hide that deficiency that's sitting right in the middle of the field? And that's the thing that I'm mostly concerned. I'm not concerned about anybody else. Like I think Cosmi, even if he's not that Pro Bowl guy that we're used to, like he still is going, like you say, he still could be served. We still could be top half, best right guard in the league. Chris Paul, he's trying to get that contract, right? So he's going to try to give you more, right? Because I'm sure he was very disappointed about what happened in the for free agency for him this past offseason. And then of course Tunsil is doing Tunsil things, right? So, but it's just that center spot that's concerning me the most, especially doing something that Jayden, he's done it, but at the same time, he hasn't done it as much as they're looking to do it this past year, which I don't think is going to be a whole lot. Like, let's not believe that he's going to be under center 90% of the time. Like, that's not going to be the case. But I think he was under center 13 times in 2024, bro.
That's crazy. That has to be like one of the lowest numbers.
Bro, like, it was insane. I had counted a few. It was 13 or 18. It was a really low number when I went back and I looked at that. That's insane to me.
Yeah, I know. Under center, when people hear more under center or under center, I don't think that means every single play we're gonna come out under center. I know that comment had me dying. Tyrese Halliburton is crazy. Yo, Stevie is on one right now, but for sure, man. Like I he made me lose my train of thought. But now I definitely feel like it is a vulnerability. But when I hear under center, it just means that we're going to start out a little bit more. We're going to do more of it than we've done in the past. We're not going to be in the spread when it's 4th and 1 all the time. We're going to start to actually run a more pro style offense, which I think is going to be beneficial for everybody. But honestly, Allegretti is going to be able to hide his deficiencies because he's experienced. It's not like he's a 30-year guy that we're asking to play center.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's a guy who's seen it done. He's been around a lot of O-line rooms. He has Super Bowl experiences. He's been around some greats. So I do think he has the opportunity to really hide his deficiency just through the mental part of the game. I think that's going to be really where, and that's why they even trust him. And we saw that they tried to shore it up with Golbin. And don't be surprised if they try somebody like Brandon Coleman out there. Don't be surprised if during the preseason, maybe late in those games, you start to see Coleman out there taking some snaps at center. I already think there's a lot of opportunity here. I don't know about Julian Good Jones, or as not Good Jones, as Rio Robinson likes to call him. I don't know if he's going to get some shaking there.
I can't believe Dan Quinn say that's going to be the center con. Good Jones, like good who? Like, come on, man.
What? So,
that's going to be crazy, man. I can't wait to see what that is. And I want what that gap is, right? I think just watching Gublin, just, in the draft prep, one of the people that we watched is, he still needs time, right? Like he still needs time to develop. I don't see him coming right in and getting that spot, right? I think it's going to take him some time. But again, it is Allegretti, right? So we just got to see what that looks like, right? But I think, like you said, thinking about it, like I think Allegretti is going to be able to hold off enough, being able to be under center more. If we can run the ball more, if we can stay ahead of the chains, I think that's going to absolutely help him. When it comes to Kaytron Allen, I want to come back to Pool, appreciate the super chat. I think he's going to be way more involved in a sense where he's going to be active on game days and he's going to have a role week in and week out on his offense. What you think about Kaytron, Fat Man?
He's going to be the knuckles of Bill Sonnet. He's going to be
there it is.
Bill Sonnet on there for sure. Immediately, the moment
Up,
I saw
down,
that,
left, right, hold, press stop. Shout out to
he's going to be that guy, like red zone situation. He's going to kind of take over that Chris Rodriguez role, that thumper in there, because White or Bill aren't really thumper type guys. And honestly, we don't really have anybody on the roster who is that type of guy. It's really between Allen and Ford. Those are the only two guys.
The young undrafted kid. What's his name?
Robert Henry.
The Henry kid. But again,
I like Robert Henry as well too. But see, he's more of like, a third down type back. He can get in between the numbers, do some pass catching. He's really explosive too. So I do like his game. But I think you're right on that. Allen is going to get a whole lot more shake because of what he provides in there. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't he hold? It's not a yardage record at Penn State, is it? I think
it's yards. It's yards.
Yards
Saquon,
and
all of them.
Saquon, exactly. Saquon went there, and that's him sharing a backfield with Nick Singleton.
Yeah, sneaky speedy, bro.
And Nick was great. And this guy could do it all. And that's the best part about it. Go watch those Penn State games last year. Nick Singleton and him were interchangeable. Nick was like more of a pass catcher guy. He kind of reminds me a little bit of like an Arian Foster type running back. And Kaytron and him were shaking. You know what I mean? Him and Kaytron were changing back and forth. Like you said, Kaytron's sneaky fast. He also has great hands. But I ultimately think he's going to be that red zone presence once we get in between that, anywhere in between 20-yard lines. So the end zone, he's there. That's going to be that guy. He's definitely going to be that thumper. He's going to be contributing on special teams early as well too. I think we can see him doing a little bit of work on there, kind of being like a gunner. But that's where I think McNichols might try to make his name on this roster, is that special teams presence. So that's really going to be what I want to see out of Allen, is going to be how well he does on special teams, because we're not just going to bring 3 running backs, suit them up each week if we're not getting some kind of contribution out of the special teams. I don't know if you're going to suit up 4 guys each week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be because like Ford and McNichols, like they got a foot up on that special teams thing, right? Like, During like he played a lot, and we know Ford has played. He's even been a return man too. So that's a lot, right? You know what I'm saying? So, but I do see us carrying 4 running backs, and I think when it all shakes out health wise, if everyone is healthy, I think it's going to come down to Ford and McNichols, right, for that last spot. Now, who's active? I think it's going to be 3. That's going to be interesting to see how they go about doing that part. All right, let's flip it over to the defensive side of the ball. Rasul Douglas, right? Where were you before Rasul Douglas, and where are you now with Rasul Douglas with the cornerbacks?
So the DB room has always been one of those spaces that I felt like we had some room for improvement. I was, everybody's been talking about Steph Diggs, but I've been one of the few people who's been like, you should bring Trey Diggs on. And that's just to say that we need more depth. I'm not expecting him to be his old self, high value guy. I just thought that he would provide a lot of adequate depth into this space, but adding Douglas makes me feel 10 times better about this defensive back room, man, like specifically cornerbacks, because y'all were talking earlier about the safeties. I think our safety room is going to be straight. And I think that we're going to have more safeties on the field than cornerbacks most of the season. But having a guy like Douglas who brings in that veteran presence, he's still a ball hawk. He's good in run support. He just kind of does a little bit of everything, and he does it well. He's going to be the tide that lifts all shifts. And I know Amik has been somebody who I really like his motor and the speed that he brings in, even though he's a smaller guy. I like Trey Amos, but he still hasn't done it for a whole season. So we don't know exactly what we have in him.
That's true. People don't want to hear that, but it's true, man.
It's true. I'm all about Trey Amos, man. Like, I think Chill is going to really do some good stuff. And I think everything is there, but we just need to see him put it all together. So Douglas is that insurance policy, man. It makes me feel 10 times better about this, especially since we still have, what is it, Ahkello Witherspoon? He's another one of the veteran guys in there. I just really think they paid attention to what happened last season. And this year they were like, you know what? If we're going to go down, we're going down swinging. And we really made some positive changes. And Douglas was a sneaky good one, man. Like, I didn't even recognize that the guy was still a free agent. And I think that's a big signing for us.
Yeah, because it's going to be interesting which one we get, right? Like, there has been some very floppy Rasul Douglas, and then some ones we saw last year, right? He had a year with the Bills. I think he had the most interceptions, like 5, played really good that year. I think he had a year in Green Bay when he played fell out. Then he had some flop years in between. So which Rasul Douglas are we going to get? The guy that came late last year to training camp and ended up starting week 1, got hurt a couple games, came back, got picks like back-to-back weeks. So he played really, really well. The numbers that from last year are really, like, last year he played the 3rd most snaps last year of his career, and he got the 2nd most targets last year with the 3rd most targets, 3rd most snaps, the 2nd lowest quarterback percentage throwing his way last year. That's some really great numbers. That's some really great numbers. So, like, when you hear people say, I don't know, man, because listen, Amos had a clean break, right? He did have a clean break similar to Will Harris, where Harris came back. But all I know is he didn't practice on OTAs and minicamp. August 1 come around, or whenever they have to submit the injuries or whatever, if he's on the PUP list, I'm going to be like a little worried if he's on a PUP list, because we were told that this was a clean break, but we know how Dan Quinn protects his players from injury. So hopefully this move was about, that type of insurance. And also saying, hey, look, maybe we need to get somebody else outside of Othello. When they went back and watched the tape from OTAs and mini camps, was able to bring them in. So I'm cool with that room, even though the top 2 got like Mikey and Amick lead with top 5 and yards given up and top 5 and touchdowns scored against. Crazy. But they both dogs, right? But they have that dog mentality. Like, they're not afraid. Like Deion Sanders said, your number one thing that you need for a cornerback is to have confidence. Those dudes got a lot of it, right? Maybe sometimes overconfident, but those dudes absolutely have. So I'm willing, right. So I'm willing to go into battle with those dudes, man. So when it comes to the defensive line and these pass rushes, a lot of times when we have conversations, we talk about Owe, right? We talk about maybe Luvu, you'll hear Dorrance, but no one really talks too much about Chason. Like, and for me, I love the Owe signing, right? I think this is a guy that can get double-digit sacks every year. But the thing about Chason, which is interesting to me, is he has a huge chip on his shoulders. And this is the positive thing about having players on contract years, is that they're trying to get another one. And they're going to do everything that they possibly can to get another one.
You want that bag.
When it comes to Clavon Chason, what are your thoughts on him? What do you think he's going to bring to the squad this year?
Man, I lit up when you said his name. And the reason for that is he was honestly one of the guys that I was hoping we were going to get when free agency opened. I honestly, the Owe thing surprised me. I didn't think we were going to be able to pull that off. I really didn't. I didn't expect us to get Owe. So us getting him was fantastic. But then to turn the corner and go get Chason, the guy who I personally thought was going to fit our system the best. And not just from the sack numbers, right? The sack numbers were impressive, yes. But ultimately, when I went and watched his tape, what impressed me was how much pressure this guy was getting, bro. He was always pressuring the quarterback, bro. Like every time, all his plays, bro, you just see he's right there near the quarterback. If he doesn't get a sack, he's right there or just a moment away. And I think that's going to be the difference here. We haven't had a guy who gets nasty monster pressure like that since Montez Sweat, bro. Or, when Dorrance Armstrong, is that his last name? Armstrong. Dorrance Armstrong is super healthy. He's been that pressure guy, but he converts more to sacks. But we need a guy who's just going to come off the edge and really get after it. And I love that he's not listed as a defensive end. I love that he's listed as an outside linebacker. I think we're going to see him standing up a little bit and really take advantage of his length and his athleticism, man. So I really think that's going to be the sneaky good pick for our defensive line this year, man. Honestly, him and Omenahu and Settle, those three I think are going to be those sneaky signings that people are really sleeping on right now that are really going to make a difference on there. And just from the motor, bro, like I really think he's a guy that's going to convert. Those pressures are going to really make a difference especially late in the season when it starts getting a little colder out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think when you think about, when I think about Deron Payne and I think about Dorrance Armstrong. Dorrance Armstrong did really well last year, right? But I think, and what we really see him at his best in Dallas is when he was at like that 3-tech type edge rusher, right? When he had someone on the outside. Having Chason helps him do that, right? It helps pushes him in, and you can have both of those dudes on the same side, right? When it talks to run defense, having Settle makes Payne that much better. Because now, like we know ever since Alabama, he does not want to play the zero tech. Like he wants to eat, he wants to stat pat, he wants to do all of those things. So having Settle, who was willing to sit in the middle and just take on whatever and don't care about nothing else, but just doing whatever, like just give me these three dudes and y'all go do whatever. I'm gonna handle these dudes. That opens up so much for Deron Payne, right? So when it comes to these new signings, we talk about Settle, Omenahu, we talk about Chason, we talk about Owe, right? How are these guys, like how more effective, or will we finally see Payne at his best? Will we see Kinlaw at his best? How are we going to see those two guys specifically with all of the signings around them?
Yeah, man. I think Payne, we're going to see.
Short Kings was crazy.
Yeah, sure can. My bad, dog. My bad, dog. Yeah, but we're going to see Payne really get after it. One, contract year. We already know how payday Payne is going to go when it comes to the contract year. And, I do think that's going to make a big difference. And to your point, him not getting all the attention, because last year, Payne was the only person that offenses were really marking on our defensive line. They were like, okay, each week, where's 94? Okay, 94, double team him. And, Mook Dog's going to do some damage, but a lot of Mook's work, and he said it himself, a lot of the good things that Mook does on the field doesn't show up on the stat sheet. He's really good at being disruptive down there. He's really good at giving those offensive linemen something to think about, but it doesn't always convert. He's cool with that because that's a way too, right? He can stop the run. He get his little sacks or anything. He makes that quarterback think twice, but having a solid rotation of guys on the edge is going to make a lot of that traffic come on the inside. And we've seen what happens when we have good pass rushers on the outside. Payne gets 11.5 sacks. You know what I mean? Especially when he's paired up with other guys who don't mind doing that zero tech that he doesn't like. Like you mentioned, Settle is a big one on there. Johnny Newton, I just saw somebody put up in there. Like those guys are going to make a difference in him being able to eat. So I think Payne is going to become 10 times more effective. One, because it's a contract year. Two, is because he has some dogs next to him. And I also think that we're going to see Mook become a lot more effective as a result of the fact that they're going to have to pay attention to the outside. And him and Payne are going to be like Jonathan Allen and Payne that one year where they were just like, man, that was my sack. That was my sack. Right. Out there, right? I really do see multiple 5+ sack guys on our defensive line this year, man.
I definitely can see. That's why I don't think it's so much about like playing time. I think I don't think it's so much about who's going to start, but who's going to get the most snaps week in and week out, right? Yep. It's going to be the week in and week out. It's going to, like, who are we playing? Like, what packages, what sub package we're going to run? I think that's what it's going to be based on, because we have guys that can do everything, right? So it's not going to be so much about who starts the game, but who's going to finish these games off, right? Like, who's going to finish the games off, and having a rotation of guys throughout the whole year is just, it's going to be sweet. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. All right. I got a question before we get out of here, right? This is for offense, defense, special teams, right?
Yes, sir.
In order for us to win a division, we're going to need at least 10 players to play to their highest ceiling, right? To play to their best. What 10 players across three offense, defense, and special teams? What 3 players? What 10 players do we need to play to their ceiling in order for us to win this division?
That's a great question, man. I love that. You said special teams and they don't get enough love. So the first person I'll say on special teams, I'll name maybe 2 guys on special teams. I think the one guy who a lot of people, I don't know if they talk about him enough, Percy Butler.
Okay.
Perk 35 is what I like to call him. Perk 35 is going to need to go crazy for us to do that, because Percy is always there. And since I think Revo is going to get a lot more snaps on defense this year, we're going to need Perk to really step up and be that guy for him. So I could see Perk being one of those guys there. I will also put Jaylen Lane in the special teams category as well, too. I think that punt return, maybe show a little bit of his chops on kick return as well, too. I think Jaylen Lane is going to be one of those guys that really needs to step up for a special team to order to throw, like, really get to that next level on there. When I think offense, it's low-hanging fruit to say 5, but for sure, I just need 5. 5 playing to his ceiling is just him being healthy, because he's going to do amazing things just as long as he's on the field, bro. That's just point blank period. I just need 5 to do his thing. I also, man, I need my boy Terry to look like the Terry we all know and love, bro. I really just need last year to be behind him and just let him do his thing on there. Who else on offense? That's 4 right now, right?
Yeah, it's 4.
4 on there. Honestly, Chig.
All right.
Chig. I need Chig to be at least as effective as Zach Ertz, if not more. I think he needs to just give us a Zach Ertz level of production, and that's old Zach Ertz. So think about that. That's a low ceiling, in my opinion, 600 to 700 yards on that one. As long as he could do that, chain mover guy, I really think that's going to be an amazing thing for us on there. Man, I'm thinking of a couple guys on offense. Really, we need Bill.
Yeah.
Bill need to do his thing, man. Bill need to do his thing, come out there and be that bell cow back, or be productive whenever he does get on the ball. Somebody said Antonio Williams. That's a really good one too. I mean, wide receiver wise, man, I think George said it best. Like, when you look at the formula of the offenses we're projecting ours to be modeled after, the trifecta is you got your wide receiver 1, you got your tight end, and you have your running back. So I think just as long as those 3 are playing the way they need to, everybody else is going to be interchangeable around there. So I'm going to say,
but just go ahead. When George said that, I kind of thought of something, then I forgot. When you just brought it back up, I kind of, those offenses that he named with those triangles for trifecta, they have like really, really good wide receiver 2s.
They do. But I feel like those wide receiver 2s get to eat because of the fact that they have that trifecta. When teams are really focused on stopping your tight end, your running back, and your wide receiver 1, the two is always like, look at Jamo was eating, like Jordan Addison, Jalen Naylor. Those are all guys who are really getting a chance to eat. And I think this year, Ty Felton in Minnesota is going to be able to benefit from that, right? A Maryland guy, so I just got to shout him out.
For sure.
You know, we love the home teams, but yeah, man. So what we got? We got our boy Five. We got Bill. We got Terry. I got Chig. I also have Perk 35, and I have Lane. So I need 4 more. So I'm gonna go defense. I need Payne to step up. Payne is gonna need to be Payne in order for this to all work. I'm also gonna need Owe because $100 million.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, big dog. $100 million. That's the only you got to play the ceiling at least, and even if that's just him being a solid run stopper, because Owe, we forget that he came in the league as a run stopper guy, and the pass rush is just something he's developed over the last 2 or 3 years in his career. So I need him to really live up his ceiling, and that's him being a stout run stopper and above average pass rusher. That's all I need out of him. Just
for sure.
Give me 7 sacks and I'd be happy again.
For sure.
And, you know, that I think we'll be working 7 sacks, low run grade against him. Who else on defense? Honestly, Luvu. And I say Luvu because, and some people will dispute me on this, but everybody thinks Sonny is going to be the de facto Mike. I don't know, man. I think Sonny is likely to be the Mike, but don't be surprised if you see Luvu line up there, even if he's not wearing the green dot. I could see Luvu coming out of that Mike position a lot more. And he did it in Carolina. That year he had all pro in Carolina before he got the check here. He was the Mike. And he did a phenomenal job on there. And I think he's somebody that we're not paying enough attention to at that point on there. And lastly, hit player ceiling. This one might be low hanging fruit, but Nick Cross.
Yeah.
Nick Cross. I really think Nick Cross is going to, because
this defense should make him one of the best safeties in the league.
I think so. I think so. I put it in the chat earlier. I think that he's going to benefit in this defense because he's already played in it low key. Yeah. Like Durante Jones and Lou Anaromo were mans. They played in Miami. They coached together. So a lot of the concept that Jones is going to want to run, Lou is already running. So he's going to be somebody who could really benefit from this. You could say Amos, you could say Mikey and all that, but I think we're going to be so safety heavy that just as long as our safeties dog and ball out in there, the cornerbacks are going to have it easy because that pass rush is going to be coming at quarterbacks all the time. So I think the cornerbacks are just going to need to hold up. They're going to be on islands here and there, but I don't think that's going to be our weak link. I think our safety play is going to be really what we need to hit that ceiling because those guys are going to be on the field more oftentimes than not.
For sure, man. For sure, man. Red, man, I appreciate you for coming through, man. Again, I salute you for what y'all doing over there.
Likewise, bro.
At OTF, man. Appreciate you for coming through, man. For those that might not know where you are, go ahead and let them know. Because I got some new 49er fans that I picked up through IU. So, you know, IU getting everybody paid. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So, go ahead and let everybody know how they can follow you up, man.
Yes, sir. You can find us at the On Defense Podcast. That is THEOTF Podcast or THEOTF Pod on Instagram. Check us out. We do a lot of boot and ground stuff. We love game day content. We got some vlogs. We've been talking to players. Huge fans of Deuce, man. And we love everything that you're doing. Thank you for creating this platform for everybody. And definitely tap in with us on Instagram. Also tap in with us on YouTube. I think we are a few away from 1,000 subscribers. So definitely, if you're not already subscribed to the On Defense Podcast, check us out. We got more content coming up. We definitely want to do some collabs with you, Deuce, and a few more of the content creators we have on there. So tap in with us, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. You going to camp anytime?
Oh, for sure. We're going to be at camp. I know for sure I'm there August 12th, and I'm going to be there August 19th. I might do the 5th. Not quite sure. The 5th and the 3rd. Might sneak something in there, but I might also be out of town. But the 12th and the 19th, which is joint training camp day, and the 19th is the last day, I think, open to the public. So definitely check us out. We may even have some ticket giveaways. So if you don't have a ticket just yet, tap in with us.
Yeah, for sure. I got a few. I'm definitely going to be there on the 12th, and I'm going to be locked and loaded. I'm going to be locked in. I'm going to try to get there as early. I'm going to be standing outside, right? Standing outside because I can't. Well, I think this is my first joint. I'm trying to see if I went to one in Richmond. Joint practice. I don't think so. I don't remember. I may have. I'm not sure. But it's gonna be my first joint practice. So absolutely, I'm excited. All right, Red. Appreciate you for coming through, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for having us, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it. All right, man.
Peace, bro.
All right, peace. What we got? All right, I think that is it. That is all. Remember, we are going to be here for the next, I don't know, it's less than a week now, right? We got 30 plus Commander content creators coming through. Today was of day 2. Day 3 is tomorrow. We start at 4 o'clock. Please, if you have not done it yet, subscribe to the channel, like, please comment, do all of that good stuff. Check out the community, everyone that joined today. Everything is going to be timestamped. So if you missed any of your favorite content creators, any of your favorite podcasters, it's going to be timestamped. So you can go back, you can check it out. But just like, comment, do all that other good stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to chop it up with all of us today. We know your time is very valuable for you to spend it with us. We absolutely, absolutely appreciate it. Remember, do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one hop, one love.